Good evening, good afternoon, welcome to Zelda Speedruns, and welcome to the ALttPR Crossworld Keysanity tournament. Loser of today's match goes home, sadly. We made it to the loser's bracket, round number 1. DoctorBobtastic versus Waterleau. But hey, let's not talk. Let's play. And let's mute the music and switch to the layout. And let's say hi to the commentators for today. To Resi and to Arior. What's up, guys?
Not much, doing good. Ready for an interesting race with these two DoctorBobtastics, a pretty prevalent entrance runner. He's done it a lot. I think Waterleau is a little bit newer to the scene, but he's been doing pretty well in the tournament, or in the qualifiers in the tournament. So we'll see what these guys can get.
Yeah, pretty interested to see where this race will go. I mean, DoctorBobtastic has been around for a long time, and Waterleau apparently has done pretty well in the qualifiers. So we'll see where it goes.
It looks like we're getting a Houlihan from DoctorBobtastic and a Castle start from Waterleau. A couple of different starts that people like to do. I think Dr. Bob didn't know about the Houlihan until recently, but it looks like he decided he liked it. He's going to go for it. It's a little bit trickier of a fake flipper than your other one, but it works basically the same. And you can check out this Witch's Hut and check out this drop down, and then Houlihan, get yourself 225 rupees to take care of early things like maybe buying bombs and getting the bottle vendor.
Sorry guys, just quickly, Twitch decided to give us first a little crash on DoctorBobtastic stream and then an ad, so you missed the first 30 seconds of his coverage, but it's back now, so sorry about that.
Alright, we found Vanilla Uncle and got the big key to Thieves Town and a map of desert. Not too much exciting there so far. And I don't think we got any. Oh, was it a Turtle Rock big key? Sorry, I saw a T and I might have messed up.
Yeah, let's Turtle Rock big key. So that's a pretty good find early. It'll take a while before we can actually do anything with it, but I think any big key is something we're happy with.
Yeah, these things, sometimes they give you a lot of keys early, and sometimes they give you a lot of items early. And if they're really bad, they just don't give you anything, and you have to like check every entrance in the game before you get progression. But the more keys you get early, the less likely you are to do like some kind of weird, they call it the ice rod hunt in normal rando, because the ice rod can only be, or it can be anywhere but that one spot. But with keys and Keysanity, there's a lot of keys that only block certainly, a small number of things. And so there's like 13 and 14 ice rods in Keysanity.
Yeah. The point is though that in Keysanity, you're usually inclined to full clear everything, so it doesn't feel as bad as searching for an ice rod would.
Looks like Sanctuary maybe was in the is it in the Lumberjack?
Yeah, it was in the Lumberjack, so it might be interesting to see where the Hyrule Castle key is. Because otherwise either Aga would be required, or people might steal a key from the front of Hyrule Castle at some point.
Yeah, some people don't like to play as much as others, but it is a fairly standard thing to try to key steal so you can try to possibly avoid Aghanim 1 and not have to go through with all that. It could save you a few minutes if you don't need whatever's in Zelda's Cell, and the key for Hyrule Castle is somewhere just really. Looks like Waterloo might check this in Houlihan as well. So far we haven't found any like really good drops. The well is still at large. We haven't seen Cannon yet, so those are going to be the two big ones they're probably looking for. Looks like Dr. Bob's actually going to go through Super Bunny, which is an interesting choice because a lot of times people don't go through connectors early because they might get cut off of their route, and especially in the case of Super Bunny Cave, which is only a one-way trip.
Yeah, I think Super Bunny Cave is an interesting one because it does give you 2 items. So I guess that makes people more inclined to actually follow it rather than leaving it for later.
Yeah, that plus the full magic, which you never know what you'll get early. That magic refill might come in handy. You never know how hard it'll actually be to get magic if you get an item that uses magic. So it is a little more enticing in that.
Oh, that's a sword.
I think that alone is probably pretty worth it.
Yeah, with so much of the overworld to clear, just having a weapon that you don't have to menu for definitely helps a lot. We find the right side of the desert as well.
Yeah, and right side desert is actually next to the lumberjack, so it'll be convenient if they want to ever come back through here as a connector. Dr. Bob came out somewhere in the light world, it looks like, because he's now in Blind's hut.
Yeah, the right side desert exit.
Oh, right.
Agina
Okay.
leads to Blind.
Yeah, and there's a book right next to the main desert entrance, which gets you into the main desert entrance. So I would not be surprised to see him go right up.
Yeah, it works out pretty perfectly. A map on the Torchen Desert. We learn that Mimic Cave just leads to a fairy fountain.
So, yeah, there's hints and entrance just like in the main modes now, except for the difference is there are 5 storyteller NPCs that will also give you hints, since they sort of do that in the vanilla game. Looks like one side of desert comes out on top of Dark Death Mountain. This is a pretty interesting connector to find. If you get a hold of the mirror at any point, it opens up a lot of entrance.
Yeah, lots of interesting connectors already. And okay, well, it's certainly an item. Just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, basically he's kind of in scouting mode right now. Not necessarily going to be able to do anything, but knows if there's anything important he needs to come back. And Dark Death Mountain has one mystery item and not much else to show for it. We did see a Palace of Darkness key in the Sanctuary, which is one of 6. It gets them 2 extra items in Palace of Darkness if they find it. So something to keep in mind if they run across. We haven't seen a lot of exploration of Kakariko main area yet, which is going to be a lot of entrances to clean up. So once we get in there, we'll probably start getting a couple things that'll give us a little direction on where to go. And we see a big key for Swamp Palace in the forest. That's not going to do us a heck of a lot of good right now, though.
Not the most exciting thing yet. Basically just a fetch quest. And we did find Ganon.
Alright, so Ganon in the woods means they can safely actually drop down into any new drop downs that they have access to, which could save them a couple seconds if it's something that they're going to be able to, or going to want to jump down in. Dr. Bob also going in a desert. I don't know if that was left or middle that Waterleau came out of that was up on top of Dark Death Mountain. But he also...
left.
Okay, left. He found Paradox Cave. He's only got 1 bomb, but there is a place to buy bombs in Paradox Cave, so you could theoretically take your 1 bomb down there if you could get past those mini Moldorms, buy yourself 10 bombs, and take care.
Oh no, tons of interesting finds so far. Hookshot Cave, Paradox Cave, Hyrule Castle as well. Okay.
Alright, so this is one of the interesting dilemmas. They have a high concentration of connectors in the same area, and there's a high chance of them getting cut off of going through any of them. So basically, it's choose a connector, hope you get lucky, and see where it...
Yeah, this is usually the place where I personally think, oh no, which way am I gonna go through now? And just really hope you don't get locked out.
Yeah, it's very easy to choose the right connector dead last out of all the connectors.
The other problem is, of course, if you go into something like Paradox Cave and just hope to wriggle through the mini Moldorms and then die anyway, there's always those considerations as well.
The interesting thing is Dr. Bob has that sword, so he's going to just go right into to Paradox Cave and he won't have any trouble dealing with the mini Moldorms in any way. So we'll be able to see those 7 items as soon as he gets. A small key to Ganon's Tower on the bottle vendor helps with routing some. It's not really the most exciting.
How many keys would you need?
If you want to full clear both sides and upstairs, if you do it correctly, you only need 2 keys total.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Got a pedestal check with that early book, and it is dead. We did find a dark cave. We don't know if that's the old man's cave. We might find out. Dr. Bob's got a sword. He might check it out a little further. If it is the old man's rescue, you'll probably see him take it up to the mountain because there's a lot of entrances up there.
Okay, he almost dropped down into Ganon, but caught himself at the last moment. Quite a few single checks in Kakariko so far, including the Eastern Big Key.
Yeah, Eastern Big Key actually makes double dipping Eastern a little. I don't know if it's more or less annoying really, because it is 1 extra check, and it does limit the possibilities of, say, you finding Eastern, dipping it, and then getting the big key and having to go back there just for that chest, which has happened.
I guess it's better than not knowing whether you have to go in there again without the bow, with the big key. Yep. Triple dipping Eastern is probably the worst feeling ever.
Alright, we got a Hype Cave with a small key to Turtle Rock and a small key to Hyrule Castle. Okay, so they are already... Aghanim is already dead. At least for that reason. He could still be an access thing somewhere.
And if there are no real connectors to the Dark World and, well, we don't actually get normal Dark World access, then I guess it's still necessary, but that's a pretty fringe case, I would assume.
It has been known to happen, but it is skippable with the right sequence breaks. I don't know all of them, but well, that's a helpful hint. But there's a bomb jump or 2 that you can do, some stuff with the boots. There's ways around it if you really. So far, Paradox Cave not giving us much, but we do have 5 more items up here. If we can just get this guy out.
Well, is the Bat Cave. So we'll just need the hammer, or maybe the Dark World access plus our mids plus mirror.
Alright, Paradox Cave giving us another GT key. Well, those GT keys are getting interesting, at least, because we've got a couple of them now. I actually don't remember what the drop down is. Oh, it was Vanilla Uncle, so we have the fairy at the pyramid, I believe, which means we do not have to kill Aghanim 2 in this.
I thought the fairy was vanilla.
Oh, was it?
I've seen that.
I mean, honestly, I might have misseen it as well. What have I definitely not seen?
We haven't seen Bat yet, have we?
No, you said the bat was at the actual was vanilla.
No, the well was at Bat.
Oh, the well was at Bat. I thought you said the bat was vanilla. Okay, never mind. So in that case, it's probably the bat at Aghanim 2.
Okay, so an exit of Paradox Cave leads to the eastern area. I guess we'll see now what the last exit leads.
Waterleau also going to go straight through Super Bunny Cave, going to get himself a sword, so that's good for him. Dr. Bob found a way to the Western Dark World, which is a pretty important connector to find. He's going to just go for it. If you drop down and kind of wiggle to the left, you can avoid that bird pretty handily. Some RNG can get in your way there and make it take you out, but for the most part, you can get away with it. And it looks like he's going to do a little scouting at least. It can be a little premature to do things as a bunny this early, knowing that you have a lot of light world left that your pearl could be sitting in. But sometimes if you have a little faith and take the plunge, you get rewarded because you're definitely having to do this anyway. From bunny logic, you can be expected to talk to NPCs, push blocks, walk through connectors, or mirror in weird spots as a bunny. So it is possible to have to traverse some dark world just to get your pearl.
And it seems like some checks aren't that much slower than they would be as normal Link anyway.
Yeah, if you find something you can't do, you have to come back to it. So that kind of sucks. But if it's just junk, you're knocking it off your list anyway. So you're basically going through the Village of Outcasts is a little more painful because there's only 2 entrances there you can actually get, and then 2 more that you would have to come back for. But some of these fringe checks are not as.
Yeah, looks like Waterloo is basically following Bobtastic's old leads. Doesn't have a bomb for the back. I don't remember if there was actually an item in there.
There was a key to somewhere. There was a small key to somewhere. It might have been one of the GT keys. I'm not sure.
Well, he'll be making his way back now, so that's good.
That's pretty handy 8 bomb drop. Alright, Dr. Bob, it looked like he was gonna go to Skull Woods and try to bunny revive. Actually, it looks like he's still trying to do that, but he's going the way that's not going. That red guard there is pretty obnoxious to get around as a bunny because he can run pretty fast. This guy right here is a little tricky too, but you can manipulate him.
Oh,
well, yeah, almost.
Yeah, it's a nasty little bugger. I've had my fair share of issues with him in Inverted lately.
Yeah, usually for Inverted, if you're still Link, or when you're Link, you can just pick up the bush, throw it, and go to the left. Throw it at him and knock him back and go to the left. It's usually what I do anyway, because I don't trust myself to actually get around. Alright, so Waterleau is going to get the disappointing news about Desert Main, which, even though we got that book early, it's just junk. So, Dr. Bob's going back to town. He hasn't fully cleared this out. Waterleau may go towards the eastern area next, which is a pretty standard play if you don't have a glove, so you can try to prevent isolating entrances. Unless he also did clear out part of town. Oh no, he's got a sword now. He's probably going to do Paradox Cave. That's 7 items, and you don't want to leave that for too long.
Yeah, and depending on which exit he takes, he might either just go into the eastern area, or he might backtrack and do Hyrule Castle, since he can pretty much full clear that right now as well.
Yeah, he does have the key, so everything in Hyrule Castle in the bottom is actually in logic, and getting that key early and also finding Hyrule Castle can be one of those things that makes you, can sort of point you to saying, hey, maybe there's something good in here.
We don't have the lamp yet, so I'm not sure how comfortable he is doing the sewers in the dark. But it's definitely possible.
Yeah, with the sword, it's a little easier. That level of hearts, you have to be pretty careful. But and without the fire rod or maybe the hook shot or something to like feel your way to the torch, like something like that, it can be a little obnoxious to try to find that chest in the dark. But it is definitely something you can pull off. Dr. Bob getting that super helpful hint about the key he just picked up. Or that he's about to pick up, actually, because I don't think he's been to Hype Cave.
Yeah, I think it's right in here. Or close, anyway. I think Waterloo did it in a kind of different order.
Yeah, either way, he'll have it pretty soon. That's one of those hints that's kind of like okay, but not really helpful because you don't actually know where Hype Cave is. So it's like, oh, that's in Hype Cave, but I haven't found Hype Cave, so it doesn't.
It's not really like you're going to not clear Hype Cave once you find it. So
yeah, right.
It's kind of awkward.
I had that help me exactly one time because I got a clue that the hookshot was in Hype Cave, and I found Hype Cave without a bomb, and so I booked right back there as soon as I got a bomb. That was like the only time that hint ever helped me.
Yeah. Alright, Waterloo not going to explore the side of the Dark World yet. Just Probably going to wait for the Moon Pearl or until he has cleared more of the light world. See.
Yeah.
Probably still going into the area of Kakariko. So
Yeah,
you might be seeing more of Hyrule Castle now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he'd done basically over here. He hasn't done the castle though. And he does have that key. I'm kind of surprised he didn't just dive right for Eastern area, but it can be good knowledge to figure out where your connectors go early as well. They're not too far from town with the save point. It's a little bit further than you want to be, but it's okay though. So far, the connectors will help us out more when we have the pearl, but otherwise, the ones they've gone through have been only good for scouting and not really for accomplishing anything.
Yeah.
All right, so without the key, the one chest that's at the top is the only thing in logic, but they have the key, so all three things are in logic. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something good down here that'll maybe lead us in a certain.
That's pretty necessary to have early on. Especially if we're going to see more Dark World traversal early on.
Yeah, early Blue Mill's pretty nice. Everything in the Dark World hurts real bad. Alright, Dr. Bob still cleaning up Kakariko. I think he's about done, so he might also head right into the castle.
Yeah, I did the stuff south of Kakariko early on, so I assume we're going to see some sync right here.
Alright, so far no dice in the castle. Zelda's Cell is our last hope for something good. Well, I mean, also there's the, if they find the lamp, there's going to be like 4 more items in logic. They could just try to skip that right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see either of them try it. Again, I'm not sure how experienced Waterleau is when it comes to dark rooms or general execution.
He seems pretty solid from this what I was watching of his other match, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him at least. It is a little better. Like if they found this in the Dark World, the rats would do like twice the amount of damage, which would make it like way more dangerous. So it's a little easier in finding it in the Light World. I would, as far as like not dying immediately as soon as you come into contact.
Yeah, surprisingly, the basement doesn't have anything.
Yeah, so maybe there's an early lamp floating around and they're just expected to go back here anyway. So they could just be saving a little time. Lamp logic is one of the more skippable things in the game as long as it's just for dark rooms and not for your fire.
Yeah, not having a fire source sometimes is the most infuriating part of the game. Not being able to do Hera or Desert. Well, we see Waterloo going for it, so we'll see how far he comes.
Yeah, so far so good. I think this chest in the Dark Cross is really the hardest part of this. Everything else is, well, the rats being like the second hardest. But there's not a lot of like really great like landmarks. That chest is just kind of sitting out in the middle, so you kind of have to like know where it is and feel your way to.
Yeah, I usually align myself with the bottom of the top torch, and then move down and left a little bit, but it's kind of finicky.
Yeah, it's really easy with like the fire rod. You can just light the room up, or the boots. You could bonk into the torch, and you're basically just go straight up, and there's the chest. But when you have none of that, you're just kind of have to hope you can get to it by feel. So far, it looks to be eluding him a little bit. Dr. Bob is following in his heels. Oh, there we go. We got a big 20. So the rest of this until you get to the key rat is fairly easy. The key rat being the next big challenge because those guys like to run around.
Yeah, The key rat is definitely the part that scares me most. If he gets away, it's really hard to find him.
Yeah, you're pretty much left with like doing spins at random spots and hoping he like wanders into the. Usually, if you go left fairly quickly, you'll find him without too much trouble. He tends to hug over there, but looks like that didn't quite work. Oh, there we go though. We got it. We got it.
Yeah, ooh, that's pretty lucky.
All right, let's see if we get any payoff here. So far, the rest of the castle's been pretty. Dr. Bob actually getting there right about the same time, even though he started later.
Alright. Well, just need to find the Easter now, I guess.
Alright, well, that bow seems pretty interesting.
Oh,
so,
no.
yeah, this is not the best death warp ever. That bow, you know, if Pod shows up early, could be an interesting. All right, yeah. So it looks like we're gonna go towards the eastern area since we don't have a glove. You can get every entrance over here without too much difficulty. Scout the item in the Hylia Island. So there's well, useless connect.
Guess might as well check the left entrance now. It's pretty close to the save point anyway.
Yeah, it's right by his house, so it's not like he can't just come right back to where he was.
Alright. Well...
Oh, that is pretty unhelpful. Well, it's helpful for knowledge, and it might be helpful for if you want to get to Skullwoods real quick, but other than that, until they find a pearl... He could bunny revive inside of Skullwoods, but depending on which entrance to Skullwoods is right there, he wouldn't necessarily get much. Dr. Bob actually going to check out Desert Front before he goes to any other entrances.
Ooh.
Ganon's Tower, we got a couple keys. We don't have anything to clear the rest of it yet, but so it's good to know that it's right next to your house, though. You can get 2 items right now and scout a 3rd. Meanwhile, Dr. Bob has found that Desert goes to another part of the Western Dark World. He is in the middle of Village of Outcasts, came out of the bombable.
That's a pretty good find. We've had a lot of connectors to the Dark World.
Yeah, this seems like a seed that's going to rely pretty heavily on connectors to get around. They haven't found too much yet. The only question really is this going to be a bunny for pearl thing, or is the pearl just sitting in one of these entrances they can access in the light world right now?
And the longer they go without something like gloves or pearl, the more isolated locations we'll find at some point. If they're going to be forced to do like Light World Shopping Mall and then just leave the rock, it's pretty bad feel if you have to come back to that later.
Oh, Thieves Town. Here's 4 fresh items we could check out. Well, just knowing where GT is, that cane seems fairly important. I wouldn't actually be surprised to see a fire rod in our near future.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That would put the entire right side of GT into logic, going all the way to the Armos, which we actually sequence broke a bow, so it makes it easier to kill them. So, yeah, I'm thinking, I don't know, at this point, something good on the right side of GT is what it's going to be my bold prediction of the day.
Very bold.
Right? Even if he doesn't find the fire rod too soon, I'd still be pretty tempted to go check Tile Room sooner rather than later.
Yeah, considering it's so close.
Other than that, Kane, not too much in here. He's got a couple more entrances to check. Bob, meanwhile, is going all in on these connectors, right?
Yeah, he's been following every single one of them.
I mean, at some point, you're probably going to have to do this anyway. The main difference is if you, say, find the moon pearl first, you can actually do stuff on the other side. So that would be where you would maybe lose some time if you're doing it early. But it is still good for scouting purposes. We found our way to another part of the Dark World, probably Hookshot Cave.
This is pretty insane by now.
Building your map can be pretty important for knowing the best way to get around. So here's Palace of Darkness. So this makes me think, maybe there's a lamp around, and that bow gives us something on the right side. The lamp could be somewhere really dumb, and it's good that they managed to skip it for now. But like, it could be on South Shore next to one of those rock entrances you wouldn't be able to check right now. So could be a nice.
With 2 keys, we'll be able to clear quite a bit of Bob.
Yeah, we found Ice Palace and Swamp. Can't do anything in that right now, especially with. Well, I mean, they don't have the pearl, but that doesn't matter. They just don't have a fire source to actually get it.
How likely are you to clear a part of Ice Palace without the hammer, if you find it?
I think you'd have to be. Oh, well, that is pretty freaking good knowledge right there. We just found out while we got our boat.
Okay.
That means the lamp is definitely around somewhere, and they just managed to skip their way. Oh, apparently Dr. Bob actually found it in the Dark World in Spectacle Rock. So, bunny logic incoming.
Yeah, that's a pretty sweet sequence.
Yeah, very, very handy. And Spectacle Rock actually comes out at Hyrule Castle. It looks like Spectacle Rock was the entrance to the right of the bomb shop, and you can check the hint as a bunny in Spectacle Rock specifically because you turn into a Super Bunny when you grab the item that's standing there. That activates Super Bunny. Otherwise, bunnies cannot do the hints. I mean, we were going to clear Eastern Palace regardless of whether we had the lamp when we found it, probably. So that hint, not like super powerful, but it is nice to know that you're going to get something good out of clearing that dungeon. Basically, it validates their sequence break to the sewers, is what that does.
Yeah, for sure. So, does the hint about Armos only apply to the Eastern Palace Armos, or could it also apply to the bottom of Ken's Tower?
It said on our Armos Knights. It should only apply to the Armos Knights themselves, like on Eastern Palace. If it were in the basement behind our Armos, it should really just say in Ganon.
Okay, fair enough.
Bob found Swamp in the cave right below Link's house, which is normally.
So many dungeons already.
Yeah, the big question of our day just became, where is Eastern Palace? We know it's not in Agnes Cave. There's one more cave in the desert it could be. I don't think anybody's actually checked the swamp. And then there's 3 caves along the south shore. Or we could be expected to connect her up to Death Mountain and it's up there. Or, find a flute or something to get up to Death Mountain and it's up there. There actually are a fair number of Light World entrances left. We just can't get to a lot of them right now. It could even be dumb as finding the mirror and having the mirror from the dark.
Oh no.
We've already got partial bunny logic with the lamp coming into play as a bunny to get that moon pearl. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the mirror showed up before the before Eastern Palace. That is.
Waterloo. Also going to find the lamp right now.
Yeah, I think he already knows where the exit goes, so he may just save and quit out here. I'm not. Okay, Turtle Rock Main leads to Desert Palace, which we already knew, so that's not the best of hints. And speaking of a way to Death Mountain, we have achieved that, so Eastern could be in a number of places up here.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
I actually missed which cave that was, but I assume it was down near the dam.
I missed it as well.
Looks like a vanilla old man rescue today. At least the backside.
Alright, another map. It's not necessarily bad. We find the front of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to take a death warp here because of the rocks, but Dr. Bob is feeling brave.
Uh-oh.
Alright, we found Bumper Cave, which doesn't do us any good right now. And Waterloo is also going up to the mountain, and again, I missed where that was, but it's got to be in the dam, I think, because based on how long it took him to get to. And I think he was the one that got the hint, right? So he should be very, very much on the hunt for Eastern Palace.
Yeah, especially since he knows everything is in logic now.
Yeah, I think Dr. Bob will end up happening along that without the hint. So he'll enjoy seeing that hint later if he manages to get to Eastern before. Oh, never mind. It was the dark cave we found in Kakariko. I guess that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, they did know that was there, and there's a fair chance of finding finding one of those early caves that's lamp locked to be an old man access. So I wouldn't say it's a bad idea to check that at all. Going back just. And so far, Death Mountain not giving us too much, but we got a couple more caves to check. We found a hint NPC, which Dr. Bob's going to go ahead and check real quick. Alright, hammer pegs are useless, so that's a good hint.
Not so much in Death Mountain, though. That's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, so far, not great. We don't think we know where the old man's save and quit is, though. So that could end up somewhere interesting. Could be on like East Death Mountain, and it has your access to that over there.
I was slightly surprised that Waterloo didn't go into the front of Turtle Rock. I mean, he does have cane, and it's an item.
Yeah, it's I mean, and you've got lasers there, so it's not like it's hard to set up a death warp in that. Everything in Turtle Rock hits you fairly hard. We found the potion shop in the witch's hut, or in the Spike Cave entrance, I mean. And we found that Turtle Rock is our green pendant from Sahasrara, also on Dark Death.
Okay, so the dark side of Death Mountain is a lot more lucrative than the light side. It really is the hunt for Eastern right now.
Yeah, we found a crystal pod and a pendant ice palace apparently from a map check. Also, oh, he's gonna go ahead and go in here now. Also, those two entrances on Western Death Mountain, Dark Death Mountain, also two possibilities for bunny shenanigans. Oh, that was definitely a good tip to me. Got a glove and a lot more possibilities for Eastern to just open up. I mean, the chances of the Moon Pearl being behind everything that you would need to defeat Turtle Rock are pretty slim, but you know, talking to Sahasrahla for his item is a thing that you can be expected to do as a bunny. Looks like with 2 keys, Waterloo is going to go ahead and proceed further.
I'm not sure if I would have made display, especially when fighting the gloves.
He found
keys,
the... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, keys can be pretty tricky for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, as long as you know where Laser Bridge is, you only need the one. They don't know where Laser Bridge is yet, so it could be getting a little dicey to do this early, especially using both of them. He found the cane in the Thieves Town, or in Thieves Town, which is in the eastern area. I don't believe Dr. Bob has ventured over there.
Yeah, it was at Sahasrah's house.
They have the second Naga Tower key, but they've already gone through the sewers to get their bow, so it doesn't... That does, you know, they do have the ability to check the second item in Naga Tower, and then they find it at least, since they both have, or they have, even one key would have been enough. Now they have... Dr. Bob is in fact heading towards Thieves Town right now. Unfortunately, he's going to have to make a special trip back to Death Mountain for that glove. That's going to put him a little bit behind.
Maybe he'll find Fire out somewhere that will incentivize him to come back, but just for one item, it seems kind of tricky.
I imagine he's definitely going to do a bunch of stuff before he goes back for just that one thing in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, for sure.
The only question is that glove tied to finding the Eastern Palace and the Moon Pearl? Because that could be a thing that you know, drags him down for...
Yeah, the more he finds outside of the glove, the longer it will take him to come back.
And looks like we do have the big key here. So Waterloo can check another... He might even be planning on going all the way to Laser Bridge, actually. I don't know if I'd be too keen on wasting that last key, but he may...
And with 2 keys still outstanding, it might be okay. But you're going to be isolating one of the 2 checks.
Looks like he's just going to go out the left side instead. I would have checked Crystal Roller before I did this, though, because you could get cut off. And he isn't cut off, but he might cut himself off here. No, he's going to go back for that one item. But now he's going to have to kill... Oh, maybe he's just taking a Death Warp to get health. I don't know. But yeah, I would have checked Crystal Roller before... I don't know, before doing all this, maybe.
Having to kill the Pokies again is not great.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You already killed the Pokies once. Well, then again, I don't know. He was going to have to kill them twice either way, I guess. And this way he can get back to the laser entrance and check East Death Mountain. I guess the main thing was just that he could have been cut off from whatever's in Crystal Roller Room based on where Turtle Rock Left came out.
Okay, he decided not to go for it. The Crystal Roller Room item, it's still an item. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not that experienced with cross keys compared to a lot of people here.
It's kind of it's not really a clear cut what's better thing in this case. Depends on what's there, really. He did get access to a lot more entrances, but he could have easily been cut off somewhere in the Dark World and been unable to go back in there. So it's kind of like rolling the dice and seeing what you get out of it. I don't know how keen I would have been to waste all the keys to go through Turtle Rock this early in the first place, but you could end up getting, you know, Eastern Palace and access to the Moon Pearl and access to Laser Bridge easily enough before having to do that.
Okay.
Especially with that glove, there would have been a lot more entrances to check for Eastern anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Dr. Bob making his way through Palace of Darkness. Don't remember there being too much great in here. Unless this is where the Ice Rod was that I totally missed the pickup.
I don't remember seeing the back of Pod, to be honest, and I think... Oh no, it's not even possible with 2 keys because we don't have the hammer. That was my mistake right there. But yeah, apparently Ice Rod here.
Yeah, I didn't say the result of the check has anything to do with whether it's the right call. I said it's not a very clear-cut case in this case, and you just roll the dice and see.
Yeah, the south checks are a lot more lucrative now. Okay,
Yeah.
we do need them.
Yeah, see, this is what I would have figured is finding Eastern somewhere off the mountain, and that's why I probably wouldn't have wanted to waste my Turtle Rock keys that quick. Because you could easily run into Laser Bridge just about anywhere in the Dark World. Laser Bridge could also be somewhere that you have to go through Turtle Rock to get to, but we don't know that yet. We haven't exhausted a lot of it. But Dr. Bob, bad news for him is that the glove is tied to the Moon Pearl, and he's going to have to make a special trip up the mountain unless he can somehow find another glove.
Yeah, maybe finding a flute somewhere so that it's easier to get back to Death Mountain, because otherwise it's... I guess it's Fire Kakriko, it's not too bad, but it still takes a bit.
Yeah, he's got some stuff he can check on the South Shore, but I don't know. It seems like at this point that he is quite likely to have to eventually go back through the Old Man Cave just to get up to the mountain and go for that one item in Turtle Rock. Okay, apparently there was a cape in Palace of Darkness. Did Waterloo not do anything but the bow side?
Yeah, I guess, because I was wondering the same thing. I first thought it wasn't possible to do with 2 keys, but it definitely is. Maybe he did... I don't know. I mean, he would have always had the cape, even with 1 key. So I guess he only did the Bullock side.
Yeah, maybe he wanted to see if he could find some more keys before getting crazy in there. Alright, so Light World Bumper Ledge is the chest game. That's an item, so we're probably going to end up checking that at some point. We got another key to Ganon's Tower, it looked like, in the Rupee base.
How can you even recognize those hints? I had no idea what it said right there.
Oh, I think we got a Palace of Darkness big key in Palace of...
Oh, that's really good.
Good and bad, depending on, because you're not going to want to go there just to check for that. But that, as far as the hint goes, you just kind of get used to it. I don't know what all of them mean. Sometimes if it's about the mountain, I just kind of like zone out and halfway through the hint and just check all the entrances anyway. But that one specifically, the reference, the wording of it references the Light World Bumper Cave. I think somebody, Haiku Type maybe, suggested that wording to AA. I'm not sure. Or maybe it was Jay Coper.
Okay, 2 Skullwood small keys and a bottle. Finding multiple Skullwood keys definitely points at something, I would say.
Yeah, those are all are locked behind all 6 Palace of Darkness keys, but so you're not intended to kill Mothula anytime soon, but they do, they're basically better for routing.
Yeah.
All right, so Arliss made short work of Eastern, and he's about to get his Moon Pearl. He already knows this. Unfortunately, wait, no, actually, Dr. Bob probably knows that he's looking for Eastern now too, but unfortunately, he's not going to be able to reach it. I assume he checked the hint. I didn't see him do it.
Yeah, I definitely saw it.
He is going to run out of Light World entrances fairly quick, though, so maybe that'll prompt him back up mountain to check what items he knows.
And the problem is that he's going to isolate a lot of locations at the South Loop.
No, the Death Mountain Foothills Cave is the Light World Bumper Ledge, which is the cave that normally brings you back from the mountain, the exit of it.
Was the solid armor on Waterloo's side?
So it's not the one behind the rock, it's the one you have to mirror to. Alright, so we got a moon pearl, and we have a million connectors to the dark world. Which one do we think that Waterloo's going to go for first?
Probably the one that leads to village broadcasts. Then he might go into Skullwoods at some point.
Yeah, the Light World Bumper Ledge is one of the hard to get to entrances that's on the list of potential hints. You also have things like Ice Palace, Hammer Pegs, Turtle Rock Main, Ganon's Tower itself. Just anything that it might take you a long time to get to because myths can be really late game, or it's just something obnoxious to reach to. Looks like Waterloo's not going to take his pearl immediately to Dark World. He's going to scout the South Shore out for us. He does have a glove, so he can get all of the entrances over here. Speaking of connectors, Bob just found another one.
Who knows where this one leads?
Well, I assume he's going to take it because he's cut off here otherwise.
He really doesn't have that much left. If anything.
Well, this gets him over to East Death Mountain. I don't believe there was really anything of note.
On the back of desert, but you can't do anything with that yet.
I missed what was under the rock, but it doesn't look like it was much because Waterloo didn't spend any time.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Alright,
Shopping mall. Not great.
Yeah, so Dr. Bob's going to have to... He's going to run out and be out of entrances, essentially, and realize that he has to find some form of progression somewhere. He might hit up Tile Room because it's right next to the house. Then maybe that'll get him thinking about that one chest in Turtle Rock, or maybe a couple chests in Turtle Rock, since you have a couple keys and you can get it to the middle as well. Technically speaking, with his 2 keys, it's not just one item, so that may make him go back there sooner rather than...
I think it's a blessing that even though he's going to have some isolated locations like World Shopping Mall and, well, where Eastern is, at least he doesn't have anything left.
Yeah.
And that forces him to go back to Turtle Rock sooner.
Yeah, he is essentially down to chasing his items, and he can't really chase them to a lot of places. Yeah, as expected, he's heading towards Tile Room, it looks like, right away, because he can get that one item in. He could, if he's feeling real skippy, do a bomb jump to the right side. It's not the easiest bomb jump in the world to pull off. I don't know how well he knows.
Yeah, it's a useful sequence break to know, but it's definitely tricky. Something else that he also still can do is take the back exit of Old Man, I guess.
Yes, he can do that. Actually, did we even see the front exit yet?
The front exit led to the eastern Turtle Rock exit, and that led to
okay. Also, I think Waterloo just walked by that entrance with the rock over there. I don't think he actually has checked that yet. He does have the...
You mean the Finger Rupee chest game now?
No, the Death Mountain Ascent Cave. The normal old man...
Right, yeah. No, I don't think we've seen that.
Well, he may remember it after checking this one.
Okay.
Well, this is another way to get through Turtle Rock. We'll see if he might go all the way to Laser Bridge now, but he's really gonna have to find some more Turtle Rock keys if he wastes them here. Technically speaking, Laser Bridge is not in logic unless you have access to it from the back or you have 3 keys. So if Laser Bridge is somewhere inaccessible other than going through the middle here, then he is supposed to have a third key to get whatever is back there. But this chest, however, is 100% in logic.
Okay.
Alright, so Magic Bat, I think, was after Aghanim 2 we decided, so that powder not going to get him too much too. Looks like we are going to go all the way to Laser Bridge, though. He does have 4 items. He doesn't have an invincibility item, so that's another reason this would not be in logic, but he probably knows how to laser skip. You know, a lot of people know how to laser skip.
Yeah, I might just take the back exit first, just have an extra.
Yeah, that could be a little dangerous because you could easily be cut off, but, like, you know, Turtle Rock could easily be one of those, like, floating island or something like that that you have to connect to. Just don't know quite.
At least you can take a few hits with Repno.
Yeah, that's the real danger. Like, if you're not good at laser skip, you would want to take the protective door, but you would definitely stand the chance of cutting yourself. So we had a Palace of Darkness key. First chest wasn't much of anything. I mean, so far it's not looking amazing.
Okay, that's kind of disappointing.
Alright, let's see if you needed your keys. Well, depending on where the mids are, maybe. Also, we don't know what Desert Left is either. See what that... Dr. Bob was thinking about where to go, it looked like. He's pretty out of options. He's not going the right way just yet, though. Alright, so yeah, that is Mitts and Mirror locked, or locked behind all the Turtle Rock key, or locked behind 3 Turtle Rock keys.
Yeah. So depending on, like, if either the Mitts or the Mirror is in Mimic Cave there, that would be pretty,
actually,
pretty
yeah,
special.
I actually could be lying. It could just be Connector and Mirror locked, but if it's either Connector and Mirror locked or Mitts Mirror Flute locked.
Oh right, yeah, of course, that's true.
Oh, so we did find Sick Kid at some point apparently, which has Bombos. Not at all helpful to Bob's cause.
Well, I mean, if he really wants to go out of sequence, he can go into ice.
Yeah, he's got to know he's got to find a way to Eastern Palace. The main problem comes from him possibly deciding that he has to bunny his way to whatever gets him to Eastern Palace, which I think he may conclude, depending on where he goes here. Because those are his possibilities, going back to Turtle Rock or just doing bunny stuff to try to find whatever progression would open more Light World entrances. Definitely looks like he's like trying to think of what it is that he's not gotten right.
He's got to do something though, because just walking around.
Yeah, I think unfortunately he might bunny before he does anything. I don't remember where this went exactly. I thought I know the left side was next to the house. This went to Skullwoods. This is really not going to do much for him, but he can go in here, die, and see how many items he could really pull out of here. The answer is 1 because he's not going to. Well, actually, that depends on whether. Nah, if he is real careful, he can get to the rest of Skullwoods.
Yeah, they should always lead to one of the other 2 exits, right? So.
Yeah, the main problem would be. Yeah, I don't know. It's just not like gonna get him anything he needs right now. Maybe something good's here though, and that'll like make up for the delay for.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. He's in a rough spot now because it does look like he's either not aware that he can, like, doesn't remember Turtle Rock, or he just really doesn't want to go back.
it's one of those tricky things. Like you were just up the mountain and you got the cane afterwards. Like maybe it just doesn't immediately enter in your mind. Looks like Waterloo is going to go right to Skullwoods 2 though, so Dr. Bob's not going to get much of an advantage from anything he made. Yeah, this is where it becomes tricky trying to walk through all of these guys and not die, but did good so.
He'll be able to clear all of this.
He may, in fact, go into the Village of Outcasts after this and check what he can there. Actually, no, he's already checked most of that, so I don't really know what he's going to want to do. He's scouted out a lot of this Western Darkworld art.
Yeah, Bobtastic doesn't have much left. I think he still has Dark Sank.
He hasn't found a way. Yeah. No, I thought he looked at that. I thought he scouted everything on the north side.
Right.
Essentially, he hasn't found a way to pod yet either, pod side. So actually, he may have already scouted the entire Dark World that he can really access. I'm not sure if he checked archery game or not.
I'm not sure about that either.
That is a bit of a walk from where he's at, but it is. If he hasn't been there yet, he may be inclined to go check. Well, it looks like he's going south, so he's got something in mind in the Dark World. Still trying to avoid that obnoxious red card there. That's just immediately aggravating. I'm gonna say the archery game was like the one thing he didn't check down here, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, it's a bad feel.
Or maybe he did, and he's weighing his options. He really has no options left now, I think, except for going back to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he just has a couple sequence breaks left.
Yeah, super unappealing sequence breaks at that.
Yeah, for sure. Right side GT is one thing.
Yeah,
I can see that being slightly appealing, considering that's 8 items. But it's pretty tricky. The other option is Ice, which is 1 out of sequence. Takes a long time to get to. And, well...
It's also just,
Ice without keys is terrible.
Yeah, it's also just Ice Palace, and, you know, it sucks in general. Skullwoods really didn't pay out very much, though.
No, not at all.
Don't know where Bob is going. I thought he checked this already. I'm not sure what he's doing over here. Rechecking? Maybe he never did check this entrance?
Maybe he's just rechecking his options to make sure he didn't miss anything. But...
Yeah, he's really gotta like... Yeah, he's really gotta stare at his tracker and have that cane jump out at him right now. He appears to be doing a tour of the light world right now, going to a screen you don't normally see that much unless Sank started at the cat.
Unless you run NMG.
See, I don't do NMG, so I don't know. I don't know the route.
You see it exactly once.
Alright, well, we found another connector in Thievestown. That's one that actually tends to trip people up because they don't necessarily realize it's a connector when they first start entrance. You don't see that very much at all as far as normal, like, random. Alright, Bombable Hut I think we already knew was a connector from Dr. Bob. Yep, the Final Desert. He's already... Oh, Bob is going to do some sequence breaks. Fake Flipper probably being the most attractive one left.
Yeah, I forgot this was still possible.
You can check a couple of entrances, although without the Moon Pearl, the Waterfall Ferry is strictly a scouting mission. Can't do anything there. He can scout the waterfall edge, and he can do, or the Zora ledge, and he can get the Zora item, and he can do hobo. But he's gonna have to walk down there each time, so that's gonna waste some time if he does all that. The Moon Pearl is in Eastern Palace on the Armos Knights, which is under a rock behind a glove that he has to go up Death Mountain to go into Turtle Rock.
It's certainly a sequence.
And he is going back to do the fake flipper again. The main problem is Dr. Bob found Turtle Rock before he had the cane, and it has not occurred to him to go back there yet. Meanwhile, Village of Outcasts, we're done with that. So Waterloo is going to drop down here, do some digging, check the archery game. Oh yeah, it was King's Tomb. I do believe we saw that on Dr. Bob's side. We just didn't see the item. And then he'll have Stumpy, the Southern Dark World having the 2 freestanding items that are always obtainable as long as you have access to this area. Yeah, Dr. Bob is 100% whittled down to... He's even checked everything as a bunny in the Dark World. Actually, this was like the last thing I think he could do that's in logic to do. I don't think we figured out where this went.
No, we haven't found the other exit of this yet. Unless it is...
I actually do believe I suddenly remember seeing this on somebody's side. Yeah, that's where it was. Okay. Oh no, he was going to Turtle Rock. Actually, I think he just remembered he was taking the fast way up here. I didn't actually remember he had that quick shortcut there. So good on him for thinking.
That's a smart one.
That's the thing about insurance, is being able to plan your route out based on where your connectors go, and you could really find your way around the world. Well, he 100% knew there was progression in Turtle Rock based on that message before he got to the... He was definitely... This was like all he had left. He is going to go further into Turtle Rock as well, but that glove is really all he needed to get in here right now, so hopefully he doesn't get too far into this adventure. Nope, never mind, he is leaving.
Okay, that might be really good for him. If he manages to save the keys that Waterloo might have to search for.
Yeah, I would imagine he knows that glove is really the main thing he came in there. He was supposed to go in there for, and he definitely wasted a little time getting to it. So he's taking that chance that he doesn't need to go any. Meanwhile, he found Mini Moldarm on Waterloo's side. I think it was in Hype Cave, maybe.
Yeah.
So different 5-item cave, but we'll see if it gives us any. Well, it's a healthy cave. Oh, mitts. So yeah, there is 100% no way Bob was ever getting that other. Small key to Desert Palace as well, which is 2 more items if we want to go into Desert, which is actually right by Sanctuary. So not hard. All right, Bob went right to Eastern Palace. It was really the closest glove entrance, other than the one next to Sanctuary. So. Not bad. Gonna get his Moon Pearl. Probably a little later than he wanted to get it, but he is on.
Yeah, Waterloo with no way to actually progress into ice yet. We'll just save and quit. So
yeah, he actually doesn't have a bottle. Where did he get that bottle, Dr. Bob?
Bob got it in pod. He got it in the...
Oh, right. Waterloo didn't go any further into pod. Okay. Speaking of Desert Smolky, I think Waterloo is just going to turn that puppy in right now.
Yeah, no reason not to, I suppose. But when all of this is done and dusted, I guess... Sure, Bob wasted quite a bit of time, but he does have a lot of stuff already checked in the Dark World.
Yeah, he scouted out a lot of stuff, and he knows how his connectors can get him around fast, so he won't necessarily take a long time to... check the stuff that he hasn't checked yet. Alright, right-sided desert. A whole lot of crap. Nothing good there. And he looks like he's going to take one of these exits, if I could remember off the top of my head without checking my tracker where they went. Desert Main was somewhere in the Dark Road, was it? Yeah, it was in Village of Outcasts, right?
Yeah. The left desert exit was Dark Death Mountain. He also has an extra exit there, Hookshot Cave.
So I'm not actually sure. I guess he's going to go check the northern Dark World. I guess he really hasn't done that.
I guess he has not checked Dark Sank yet.
Yeah, so those myths actually didn't open a huge amount for us yet. Trying to think of what we have left that nobody's really checked. We do have the Light World Rock next to the Sanctuary that could be a thing. I don't believe Waterloo checked it, and Dr. Bob hasn't been by there yet. Looks like we're actually going to get a current. I don't remember how you say his name. We're going to get this sequence break here where you can bomb yourself into Fake Flipper, but I can't really tell if he's on the right pixel. It looks like he might be a little high.
Yeah, it looks like it for me. Also, his timing is a little off. Oh, this is slightly awkward.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure you have to be a lot closer to the edge of the where the rock. Oh, maybe I'm.
I think there's some leniency. Someone made a spreadsheet of it.
Yeah, there's a bomb splash damage is pretty spread out, I think.
Now Waterloo does have to be careful though. He only has one bomb left at this point.
Yeah, he's out of sequence at this point. I'm trying to think of what we have left in logic. Not too much. The myths would open up the ever wonderful Smith chain.
Yeah, we know that Smith is at the Witch. I guess the dwarf should still persist in the entrance as well, right? After saving quit.
Yeah, he does. And the Smith can only ever be locked by a glove in the Light World, basically because once you get a follower, you can't do digging games. So if anything was ever a digging game and you had the Smith and you were not able to turn him in, you would be eternally screwed.
Right, yeah.
Not necessarily eternally screwed, because you could find certain things that would erase the Smith, but there is always the possibility that you wouldn't be able to find any of those things. You can erase him with Kiki, you can erase him by stepping into the Uncle Passage, the Old Man Rescue Cave, either side of that, the basement of Thieves Town, and by getting a crystal, but there's definitely always a slim possibility of not being able to do any of that. So Dr. Bob, going to take his pearl. We'll see where he goes with it. He's got a lot of locations scattered out, so he's got a few. He knows where a few entrances that he's left behind are. I think he's either going through desert or checking that rock by the Death Mountain entrance cave. I think it's the Death Mountain entrance cave.
Looks like it.
We're definitely running out of spots you can get to. We've seen most of Dark Death Mountain already. We did find a way up there, and there is a glove-locked entrance up there you could check. And there is the Smith chain, and really not a heck of a lot else right now. Yeah, Ack, the problem is that if there is progression in the dig game and you can't find a way to erase this, that's what I asked AA myself. Actually, I was wondering the same thing, and that's what he told me. You know, what if you got your next progression is the dig game, can't find the Smith, and you can't erase him for whatever reason because you don't have access to any of those things that you can do to erase him.
So we found Bomb Shop. And just outside of the ball area.
I actually missed what the crystals were, but it looks like our trackers are on it. In Eastern and
Skullwoods, yeah. We still haven't checked the back of Sahasrara yet, which we know is on Death Mountain.
Ah, that is correct. That is 3 items back there. That could also be our progression. Right, we unless there's something I'm missing, there shouldn't be progression. The next progression they're supposed to find isn't over here, but there obviously could be something over.
Yeah, for sure.
This could just end up being one of those time saves. Dr. Bob is actually going to check this middle chest, which we did not see on Waterleau's part, so they could use all their keys to get to the back.
Yeah, Bob saves 2 keys here. That helps so much. He doesn't need anything else in order to be able to full clear Turok at this point.
Yep. Looks like Waterleau is going to Death Mountain. Possibly to check these 2 dark caves. I'm not 100% sure if he did or not. If he did, he knows that Sahasrara is up here and it's 3 free items. If not, he's going to find out.
That will definitely be a nice surprise for him.
Actually, he doesn't have Turok marked on his tracker, so I don't believe he did check these. He really didn't find anything over on pod side, so I guess he's probably searching for more in-sequence things to do now. And Bob checking that Light World rock that he had skipped leaves us with, I believe, 1 entrance, the Sahasrara items, and the Smith chain as our main possible progression point.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Would expect that we might see the Fire Rod or the Mirror soon, just because both of those would open up a significant number of items. The hammer would be nice, I suppose, but it wouldn't really open a huge amount of things.
It's really surprising to me that Sahasrara didn't have anything.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the options are getting pretty low though, so we got to run into something. I think Waterleau remembered that entrance that he skipped, so he's gonna go check that and get the sad news that it's just a money pit. Hack raising a good point that if we get the GT big key, that would be some GT climb that we could do.
Yes.
Hookless GT climb, so it wouldn't be attractive very much, but it would be in long. Waterleau is definitely stretching for logical items to pick up. He's going for the tile room.
Oh no. He might just go for the sequence break here. Go all the way to the bottom.
Did he go out of the one-sided desert to the top of Dark Death Mountain? I'm not sure. There is actually a chest up there now that I think of it as well.
Oh right. That was a sea house or something.
So there's an entrance and a chest up there. The big question, is it going to be Fire Rod or is it going to be Mirror? Those are my votes. It could conceivably also be the flute to get to the mire area, or the hookshot for like Hookshot Cave, which is really all it would be.
Could be flippers.
Yeah, flippers. Bob scouted out some of that already, so it didn't lead to too much. Flippers would give us logical access to the Palace of Darkness side. It would also give us access to 3 more entrances in an Ice Rod, Dark Ice.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Boots would get us entrance to 4 entrances.
That's not too bad. I think everyone would be happy to find boots.
Yeah, for more than the entrance access for sure. We do have a lot of possibilities. I just vote for the Fire Router Mirror because they open up so much.
Go ahead. I
was gonna say I'm not 100% sure what Waterloo is actually heading towards right now. Palace of Darkness to do the back, maybe, but that's not in sequence, so he shouldn't find anything that he needs back there. Well, he does have 3 keys actually, so the back part of the back would be in sequence.
Yeah, we won't find anything that Bobtastic hasn't found yet.
Yeah, there's nothing back there that he really needs right now, but those 3 keys do give him logical access to 3 chests in the back. So, and then he can pick up some more by hammer jumping and fancy tricks like. So, yeah, again, we just have those two or three few options left, and we're just gotta wait for one of these runners to take that plunge into that new territory. Bob's got to actually get his mitts before he can do some of that. He could check that one chest and one entrance up on Dark Death Mountain. Oh, here's a connector we actually did not go through as well, I believe.
Yeah, we did see it. It led to K45.
Oh, did he go through it? Okay, I just missed it. Hey, look, it's another key to Palace of Darkness inside Palace of Darkness.
How typical.
In that chest that's really awful to check. That's the one that people skip the most, I think.
Yeah, I usually just check the one in the back first, but this definitely worked out for him.
The back was always in logic with 3 keys. None of the bad doors are in logic without 6 keys, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but if I had to pick either Vanilla Big Key Chest or Harmless Hallway, I'll usually check Harmless Hallway because it takes longer to get back to.
Does the back require 4 keys? How many? You shouldn't be able to key lock yourself with 3 keys, should you?
No. Well, I mean, if you have bow and hammer, yes, but otherwise, no. I mean, if the hammer is behind the back, you should be able to get it.
Huh? I guess that makes sense.
Okay,
I just can't imagine why anybody would go straight to Helmasaur, but I don't know. I guess that makes sense. Well, I've just been assuming wrong all this time then. Well, I guess with all this key logic, I was bound to have something. I would imagine he probably. Yeah, key logic always, as Chad is pointing out, having to be set to the dumbest setting possible because people do dumb things and lock themselves out of dungeons, and even in silly places like Mire, nobody would ever do that. But
okay, don't talk to me about Mire. That place is so terrible. Just imagine bingo and having to open 6 of the Mire doors. Do you even know where 6 of the Mire doors are?
You can find them if you wander around long enough, anyway. Yeah, I guess I never really considered that that there were 4 doors you could open with 3 keys. But I guess now that you've pointed it out, it seems obvious. I just don't know why your first stop would not be the back of Pod when you have that many. When you have more than 1 key. Alright, so Bob is cleaning up the Dark World. He's got to make his way to the Mitts, which are in Hype Cave, in the fake Hype Cave of Mini Moldorm. Waterloo's got... He's basically running out of options until he goes to Smith Chain or that Dark Death Mountain area. Can't think of how much else he's really got left. He's done a lot of the checks that were available to him that he had left behind so far.
Yeah, I am trying to think. Like, so the bombos that Bobtastic has is from the Out of Logic bubble. So I guess Ice Palace is not even in Logic yet.
He could be going to Sit Kid and then into doing the Smith Chain, maybe. Although he should know that the bottle's not really his logical progression. But there's no reason to not get it out of the way in case it's something.
Yeah, the well that is at Batcave is still out of
Wait,
of reach as well.
what was here that he's going for? Oh, that was okay. Never mind. I thought Sit Kid was below Cat Creek. All right, and yeah, based on him coming down here, I would assume Smith Chain is next on his mind. Dr. Bob actually going back up the mountain to do something.
Probably Sahasrara. I would have to think.
Oh yeah, he hasn't been back up there yet. That's correct.
What was on the other side? Oh, he's going. This is Vanilla Bomb Shop?
Yeah, so I thought he had already checked everything over here, so I'm not 100% sure what he's going after, unless he's... Oh, he's going to Ice Palace, but maybe he doesn't realize this isn't quite in Logic yet. Because he could easily find the hammer in Logic and not have to do this hammerless, but he is going for it.
Yeah, this is not the most enticing option.
He may be... I mean, the options that he has left are a little obscure and annoying, so maybe he's not really... Maybe they're not really occurring to him offhand, and he's not really realizing the implications of the 6 pod keys that he doesn't have.
That's very possible.
It's for sure when you only have like 2 or 3 logical options and you know that you should be getting a good item soon, it's more or less better to pursue that rather than, say, dipping hammerless Ice Palace. But I mean, this could also get him something good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you do find the hammer here, for example, then you'll be feeling good.
Yeah, you could still easily find something good here, and as long as you keep your sequence breaks in mind, you can eventually find your way to what you're supposed to get. Like you could find a Desert Palace Big Key, for instance, and now you can kill the Land Molas, even though that wouldn't actually be in Logic until you find all 6 Palace of Darkness keys, but it is something more that you can do.
Yeah, so my rule of thumb usually is that I'll only sequence break something if it allows me to do something else more efficiently, possibly. I don't see that right here, because this hammerless Ice Palace is such a inefficient thing in general by itself. But
yeah,
there are definitely upsides.
This could be like a desperation play slash not realizing what's in Logic, or not realizing that Palace of Darkness needs 2 more keys to put Bombos in Logic, just something along those lines. Then again, you know, the item that they're expected to find next could be the Fire Rod, and you could be expected to do this anyway. Although the Fire Rod would make right side GT more attractive than this, still in my eyes, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely an interesting choice that could do great things, and it could backfire.
Alright, so if we're talking about Ice Palace Bomb Jump in general, one thing to note is that with the Fighter Sword, you need an extra pixel in between the bomb and the shed of the bomb and the sword. Oh, you got it there. But I think if you're doing it hammerless, you usually don't really need to do the bomb jump in general, especially if you have Cane.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, if he gets hammer, he can just complete the dungeon. So this would be the way to go if you were banking on hammer being in here, I guess. Also, he doesn't have the big key, so regardless, if you know, he would have to bomb jump if he found hammer in here.
Yeah, you would.
The other, yeah, I don't know. So just depends. I mean, Hammer has been known to show up in Ice Palace. Good explanation on the bomb joke, by the way. I usually just wing the crap out of that, and it sometimes it shows. All right, Bob is going towards one of the or two of the things that are actually in logic. So let's see if this is the answer.
Well, it's something.
Well, that is an answer, but it is not the answer we're looking for because there's no way in there yet.
Unless... Oh, okay. Well, I had hope there.
Okay, so we are possibly just looking at the Smith chain, which is kind of gross considering they don't have a mirror or a flute or boots or any of the ways that you would want to deliver the Smiths fast. Don't actually recall where the Smiths were either.
The Smiths were at Potion Shop.
Okay, so that's not actually really bad to get to. Now, if the answer is in purple chest, that's really going to suck because there's definitely no fast way to do it.
Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, right now you have to walk all the way to the Smith also, so that sucks by itself. Then if it's in the purple chest and not the Smith, you have to walk all the way back to get the purple chest, so none of that is great.
It looks like Bob realizes he has the Desert Small Key.
Yeah, I gotta check that real quick. The interesting thing is Bob is actually chasing down the last few logical paths, so he's could conceivably pull ahead of Waterleau right here by getting whatever the required progression. He could conceivably not have to double dip Ice Palace either by doing it the correct way. Ah, he was taking a shortcut to the Smith. Maybe. Actually, I don't know. Hey, I think this is slightly faster.
Okay. Oh no.
Looks like Waterloo has expended his options in Ice Palace.
Yeah, he ran out of bombs.
So where's he gonna go? He only has a couple things left. So wait, what is Bob doing?
I think he doesn't realize that the frog persists through save and quit. So
he should definitely know that. I just don't know what exactly he is trying to check on right now down here.
He's just going to do ice first, I guess, and then save and quit out of there.
Oh, so yeah. Well, this negates. Yeah, this negates any advantage you might have gained from not having to double dip Ice Palace, unfortunately. I don't know how, if I know that I'm down to just the Smith chain, I don't know if I'd want to do this just in case it's the hammer in the Smith chain.
Yeah, it seems kind of awkward to me to go into ice without hammer, without any keys. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is going to be, I mean, the Smith chain by itself is obnoxious anyway if the answer is in purple chest. So maybe he's just like, I've got two obnoxious options. Maybe I'll just, do them both at once. Even though this again is still behind a couple of keys. So I don't know.
So Waterloo is back in Turtle Rock, going to the left exit. So he wants to get back to east of mountain, but I don't remember if. Oh, he's going to the back of desert.
Yeah, he can kill Lamolus out of sequence, but something you can do. Maybe he's not really thinking of the Smith chain. I mean, we kind of figured that's where the progression has to be at this point, but I don't know. I mean, he could just be doing what he can do while he thinks of what he should be. I am really curious to see what we get out of the Smith chain at this point, although we are getting delayed gratification from these guys.
Okay, so Bob decides not to do the bomb jump.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing the odds that the hammer aren't really in here, so I mean, and the odds are at least somewhat against it. Well, we know it's not from what we've seen. I mean, it could be an iced tea chest if you bomb jump over there, but I mean, the odds are more against it than for it, I think, in this particular.
Yeah, I would agree.
Bob gonna have the bombs do most of his work here, or well, all of it.
It's such a nice strat.
Yeah, it's a little more harder to pull off without boots and damage boosting depending on your heart levels, but still easily do it.
Today I learned that the bee, in fact, does not do any damage. Or does it? I don't think it does.
I don't know why he actually released that. I mean, well, I guess he doesn't have a really awesome weapon for this fight, but I don't know. This just seems more like an invitation to.
I think the bow is a perfectly fine weapon for the ammo, thank you very much.
Without silvers, I definitely would not be able to do a good fight with that. I would be leaning on the ice rod or the cane, or just slashing with the sword if I was out of magic like him. But I mean, my aim with the bow is not at all guaranteed, so I feel
it's super hard.
And the land molas did not give us anything in both cases because it was just a pendant and it gave us some bombs. I think we have the big chest he could still chase after.
Yep. Yeah, the fact that it didn't even give a crystal probably is not a good feel.
Alright, Bob has checked the one chest I don't think we saw yet, and it was just 10 arrows. So Ice Palace is not delivered.
I think the only chest that we didn't see yet is the one on the right.
Oh, never mind. That's the one he was bomb jumping. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I am silly, and I don't remember my Ice Palace. Oh, that's what everybody was talking about. I didn't see that hint on Waterleau's side when he checked. So we know where the mirror is, so the hookshot could conceivably be the thing that we're looking for.
Yeah, that would open up, especially because then we can also get into Mire.
Yep. Not that we would necessarily want to go into Mire right now, but we could get into there and get a number of items at least. Desert Palace turning out to be
Oh
hello.
No. Oh no.
That is not in logic, but that is a fun find. It's not what we were supposed to necessarily find right now, but it is a fun find.
He can do the right side of GT right now.
Hey, look, you found Bombo, so that means the fire rod is in Ice Palace, because it always is. Don't know where Bob's even going right now, because he's not going to the Smith, it looks like. Unless he's taking the really long way.
He might not know the fake flippers there, I guess.
I think he does, but he might have totally forgotten that was the better option in this case. He actually did the fake flipper to start the game, I think.
Oh, right, yeah. I think he's the one who started with that route.
But we finally get our payoff for the Smith and see what we were really supposed to do, it looks like. Or well, I mean, it could still be purple chest, but let's see what we're gonna get. Also, Bob forgetting he's gonna have to walk down for that and not jump in the.
Somehow entrance just messes with your brain. Like, I swear. You just do the dumbest stuff routing wise. Okay, yeah, it looks like Waterleau figures out That's missing some logic as well. Alright. We're getting some sync up in here.
Alright, what are these smiths crafting for us today? Hey, what do you know? It's the hook shot. Who would have thought? Now we can get ourselves a mirror and go to town. Waterleau actually remembering the fake flipper situation, except for he just messed up his setup, unfortunately. No, the fire rod is not in logic because Bombos is not in logic because Bombos is locked behind 6 Palace of Darkness.
Which is pretty silly.
Unless there's another bottle somewhere, but so far we haven't seen. I mean, I'm sure there's another bottle before 6 Palace of Darkness keys, but they didn't have any way of actually getting to it at the current moment. With the mirror, the fire rod might actually be in logic now, because there could be a bottle somewhere that they could actually get.
I definitely hope so, because otherwise that's really silly logic.
Yeah, I would assume that there's no way that the bottle, all 4 bottles are hard locked behind 6 pod keys. That would be kind of silly, but currently it. We'll know more as they continue checking items, at least.
Well. Oh, would you look at that?
Hey, it's a mirror. What a surprise. That opens up many possibilities for Dr. Bob now, and well, for Waterleau too, because he also knows what he's about to get out of this hook shot. Of course, in Dr. Bob's case, I'd be kind of tempted to go after GT as well, considering he grabbed his fire rod there. However, he doesn't have the big key yet, so maybe he wants to see what this mirror is leading him towards, because that was the next thing that the seed was pushing them for.
And he'll probably be looking at chess game now.
Yes, he does know that is here, and then he can also take this and go to Graveyard Ledge, and then walk south and do the race game, and, well, I guess we already know what K45 was.
Yeah.
But it can actually check the race game entrance, and I think they scouted out the item, and I don't really remember what it was.
Me neither.
We'll see if they
if it was something exciting, we would have known about it.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, they still haven't found the actual logical access to the Palace of Darkness side, but we do know that there's not a lot over there.
Yeah, the only thing of note was the bomb shop. And we haven't found Skullwoods yet.
We have not seen a connector to the top of the castle, no. They haven't found a way to actual pod side, so the top of the castle is not technically in logic, even with the mirror, unless there is a connector up there. But the mirror will probably lead us to a hammer or a flipper, or some flippers, to actually get you over there.
Ooh, damn. Oh, no.
Looks like Waterleau is going to take the purple chest for a little tour as he checks mirrors. Or he's just going to take the purple chest for a tour and skip all the mirror things. I guess he's probably going to check the Bombos tab while he's over there, but I don't know how I feel about taking this now and skipping all the mirror items on the way.
Yeah, other spots that opened up are the top of that mountain, I guess, with Hera and the...
Well,
is that the Fuse Key?
We don't actually know what Thieves Town is yet, but that seems like it could be necessary to do that purple chest.
We know Ice Palace is a pendant, and that Desert was the third pendant.
Oh, actually, yeah, we do know what everything is, don't we? So, yeah, the purple chest is 100% necessary. Oh, Bob's going to do something a little fun and check the powder by way of mirroring behind that peg, since Hammer is currently... Oh, I'm sorry, not the powder, the frickin' Kakariko well. This is actually a 5 item, so not an unheard of chance of having a hammer here.
Oh, that's pretty good too.
Gonna get both of his Thieves Town keys. Unfortunately, not much else.
A fetch quest and another fetch quest.
So that's actually both Thieves Town keys in Logic as well. So Blind is actually in Logic. They would have to skip the big chest, but you know the hammer could be behind them.
Yeah, for sure. That's always the fear.
Thieves Town big chest is one of those gross item locations that is on the list of hints, so they could also theoretically get a hint for that. We are looking for go mode. We would need a Tower of Hera big key. No, we found that somewhere. No, we didn't. Yeah, we need a Tower of Hera big key. We need a hammer. We need a Swamp small key. We need a Misery Mire big key. Oh yeah, go. We don't discuss item go mode around here because that's not a thing. It's it always includes keys.
But also Flipper's hammer.
Yeah, we are a fairly sizable way a long ways away from.
Yeah, both players definitely got bottlenecked a couple of times.
Hey, we found Hera behind it. Yeah, no offense to anybody that likes to talk about item go mode, but I really hate that phrase. Oh, speaking of hints for Thieves Sound chest, Waterleau might actually need to get that. I don't know, depending on whether Turtle Rock whether Trinex becomes a thing, but it definitely doesn't hurt Dr. Bob, I think, to skip the Thieves Town big chest at this point.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing for him. Alright, we'll be seeing the Hera entrance now, and whatever is on Ether tablet.
Yep, won't be able to get it, but we can scout it.
And I think we know everything about Death Mountain at this point.
Speaking of tablets, did Waterloo walk all the way over to the purple chest and not check the Bombos tablet? I don't remember seeing it.
Bombos tablet had 10 arrows.
Okay, so he did check it. Good.
Oh no.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's even pretty out of the way. That's not cool. There's no easy way to get there yet. Oh, hey.
I guess you could go through desert for a slightly faster way, but yeah. So we know there's a shovel in here, but we don't know what the second item is.
I mean, technically, this could be our access to East Dark World.
Yeah, it would be. Well, we haven't really found anything interesting over there. It would be a kind of silly access to East Dark World. I definitely wouldn't be interested in pursuing it anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, that's maybe the way to get onto the top of Harrow Castle.
Yeah, that would be extra silly. So it's definitely not outside the realm of possibility.
I'm not saying that it's something we want to do here, but I mean, if that's what the game wants us to do, then...
Yeah, I mean, entrance opens up. You know, you have your quote unquote trolley standard open seeds. Entrance makes those look like tame kittens in comparison.
Yeah. Another thing that we haven't followed yet, since we do have the cape, is the Bumper Ledge Cave, which is on Death Mountain as well. We don't know where that leads to, do we?
Could have sworn I saw both ends of that, but I might be thinking of another seed. But yeah, that is something they could do if they've only seen the one side. We are going to get a Mire check. This gets us, well, they have all three small keys, actually, so this gets us left side in Logic. And so they have 6 in Logic checks in here.
Oh, Bob's going for it. Oh, I love this.
Oh, wow, this is interesting. It's really not going to give him an advantage because Waterloo already bomb jumped over there, but this is a bold this is a bold thing. I guess he is just ready to check all those entrances and doesn't want to wait anymore.
Doing this before Meyer is definitely a bold move, yeah. I mean, I like to play, but...
That's a great hint, though. The tree is Sanctuary, but they already found a key to sewers and checked the sewers. So there's literally no reason to do this unless you want to go to East Arc. This would also open the. There's another obscure thing that that this would open. Speaking of though, well, actually they have the cape, but you know it's a fun bit of logic to talk about because I've only ever seen it once. Killing Aghanim removes the barrier to the one entrance in the center of the castle. So you know, say the cape wasn't available, or the Master Sword wasn't available, you could, in logic, be expected to kill Aghanim to get that one entrance open in the center of Hyrule Castle. We've only ever seen one seed do that. It was a daily entrance race that a lot of people joined and a lot of people forfeited.
Oh man, that's awful. Yeah, we find a
big key of Ice Palace, so that makes a little more of Ice Palace in logic. They have unfortunately already dipped it without the hammer, so if it's something stupid and the hammer is like in Ice Palace big chest, oh boy.
And if anything, Waterleau is more tempted to go back sooner because he hasn't checked that one chest that has the fire rod. But again, they're not going to like it.
Hey, we found a bottle that is not locked behind 6 potkeys, so Ice Palace is actually in logic now.
Boo.
We always knew the odds were against it.
Yeah. We don't have the big key for Mario, do we?
Nah, he's just taking this way because it's kind of like the fastest way to get over here. Well, if you have all the keys, not necessarily, but it's the way that everybody's used to, so...
Yo, the Chester! Sorry, I had to acknowledge that.
Alright, so Meyer gets his Ether, which don't think that does anything for us at the moment. One more check in here, I think, and then we are going to be done. And I think we found just the Ice Palace big key, so that could suggest to them that they are expected to go to Ice Palace to get the big chest. Bob's got these entrances up here, which are not proving to be too helpful right now. We've actually checked a lot of the mirror stuff already. Well, the fire rod we know is in logic now, so right side GT is looking pretty spicy.
Yep, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, he found Spike Cave in Vanilla Agate Tower. He'll be able to check East Darkhold now, so he'll probably lose a little bit of time over what it already checked. Yeah, otherwise...
Yeah, it's hard to tell standings right now, but I mean, they both double dipped. They both dipped Ice Palace without the hammer and without the big key, and now the big key has shown up. So that's the thing that's gonna make you feel a little a little bad.
Also, right side Total Rock is checkable now with the fire rod.
Yeah, of course. If the answer is the fire rod, that gives Waterleau more reason to go back to Ice Palace because he's going to get rid of his options fairly quickly.
I guess Zora is in logic.
Yeah, Zora is in logic. Not that anybody wants to deal with that.
I mean, this is the best opportunity that Bob will ever have to check it.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think we actually ever saw either one of them fake flipper up here. I think Bob ended up getting back on track before he fake flippered all the way over.
Yeah.
No, we have not seen GT yet. Bob decided to kill Aghanim while he was there. He may take the fire rod to GT after that. He's really the only one that can actually cash in on GT because Waterleau missed the bomb jump. to get him over to the fire rod, which he would be able to get in logic by the hook. Alright, so Zora Ledge is nothing special. Let's see if the Zora himself is selling us hopes and dreams or just fantasy. Yeah, Waterloo is going to exhaust his options pretty quick, besides going back to Ice Palace for those 2 checks. It does seem likely, or it's starting to get a lot more likely, that the hammerless dip of Ice Palace was in fact required.
Yeah, would agree.
Looks like Zora did not give us anything that we wanted to know about. I really don't know about. I guess this setup just looks so different from what I remember watching in the video from Quern, but it looks like it's a pretty good setup.
He keeps running low on bombs, though. I really hope that doesn't punish him again.
Yeah, it's taken him a bit to actually get through with it with that setup.
Okay, he's going to do the same castle checks now, I suppose.
Yeah,
he
didn't defeat Aghanim to get here, so I don't know. I guess that'll save him a little time. It kind of feels like Hammer might be right side GT, or God forbid, even upstairs if the big key's on the right side. So that could be the way to hammerless Ice Palace to get the hammer to get your access.
Oh, let's go with big key again.
It's interesting that that Bob just did Aghanim to get over here, and then Waterloo is corn jumped twice. So I don't know. Obviously, I think the corn jumping was the faster way, but it's an interesting thing that's going on in this race right now.
I guess Bobtastic can come back to Spike Cave pretty quickly by just even quitting and then mirroring back.
Bob finding the bomb shop and getting his info on his crystals. He apparently found a map for Desert at some point, so he has full information now. Waterleau does not have full information, I guess. I guess he should have the Ice Palace map, but he hasn't checked that. Don't 100% know where he's going right now.
I would guess Fuse Town.
Oh yeah, he did get those that key actually. He didn't get the other one.
Yeah, and he knows what the small key gives.
Yeah, which for him doesn't mean anything unless Trinex has an item that we need. So no reason to not skip it initially. Or no reason. Yeah, never mind. I said it right.
I would be surprised to see Bobtastic go there after he checked out locations here.
Yeah, he got the same hint as well. It looks like he's actually gonna. He could just mirror right here on his way to the Palace of Darkness entrance and knock it.
I don't think he got the hint. The hint was in Meyer, wasn't it?
No, the hint was in Hera.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Looks like he's gonna skip ahead to the pod entrance first.
Oh no. Feeling bullied.
Alright, so we have 3 items in here in logic. So, see if there's anything interesting back here. Conceivably, the hammer could be back here. It would not be. It's like one of the dumber places it could be, but I don't know. I'm feeling right side GT right.
Yeah, but it's definitely the densest location right now.
We already knew that. Alright, where is Bob going? I think GT should be where he's going, but, obviously Dr. Bob works in mysterious ways. He could be thinking of... It appears that he is. Oh wait, he got the shovel out of Castle Tower. Never mind. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Oh man, those are the best grasshoppers ever. Not doing 2 hearts of damage, dying in 1 hit.
Yeah, they are pretty. The same factors that change the rats in the castle to really bad if you find them in the dark world change the grasshoppers in Thieves Town to really nice if you find them in the light world. All right, now we're gonna go visit GT.
You never know. This mind works in mysterious ways. But I guess this time you're right.
Yep, he's done Tower Room, so we're gonna skip straight ahead to all the new stuff that we want. 3 Keys actually does put everything all the way through to Ice Armos in Logic, so that is 8 fresh new in Logic items. Oh, but we got a big key to Hera in Thieves Town, which is also in Logic.
So the cycle continues.
Who is gonna be right? We're like in coin flip territory right now. Although missing that fire rod is still gonna hurt if that's where the hammer is behind.
Yeah, potential triple dip eyes is not something that I would wish upon anyone. Let's check that out. This is blind. And these 4 items here.
Well, we got silvers on the way to the ice arm, and the hammer. Oh, that hurts for Waterleau right now. Oh. And the boots. Holy crap! Well, that was a room right there. Silvers, hammer, boots, and some key that I didn't even register because I was too dazzled by everything.
What's for a rock? So
I don't see even more reason to skip the big chest of Thieves Town. And by the way, Dr. Bob is going to just realize that he can now go full left to go to the Ice Armos, and in case he gets the big key on the left side, he's going to go ahead and do that, it looks like. Also, we got our crystal out of Thieves Town, and I don't think anything else. The fire rod is in the one chest in Ice Palace that that Waterleau did not get to because he failed a bomb jump. Which was put in Logic by the hook shot, which they did not, unfortunately, get first because they decided to do that before they went through with the Smith. It was in the spike chest. Yeah, that would have been a crazy sequence break if you could have pulled off the bomb jump to the right side of GT right.
Yeah, it would have made this a lot faster.
Faster and more confusing. Alright, I think we got a Palace of Darkness key. Nothing else really special yet. I think Waterleau is gonna go to do Hera. Yeah, you can do it without boots, but the timing is like stupid tight. They did not have hookshot at the time, I don't think. But, I mean, they obviously could have gotten to it. So, Waterleau is finding themselves in an uncomfortable spot right now because they're going to have to triple dip Ice Palace. They're going to have to actually, it's going to have to actually occur to them. Yeah, he is going to Hera, okay. It's actually going to have to occur to them to go back to Ice Palace, which means they're going to have to exhaust all of their options first because they're not going to want to go just for 2 chests.
Yeah, it's not looking good for him like this.
Meanwhile, Dr. Bob is going to clear all this stuff out of GT. Without the big key, he's going to have to isolate the big chest, which is on the list of hints of stupid places that you have to, so he could, in fact, get a hint for it and find out that it's nothing. But until then, it's just an orphan hanging over your head. But without the big key, you can't do the climb either, so GT is going to be done for now once he gets through to the ice armor. That is a good point. Ice is dependent, so we might not need to go through the cold stare. So it is, but it is a guaranteed double dip by the logic, and also by the fact that sequence breaking it was one of the more difficult sequence breaks.
Oh no.
That is a fall I haven't seen too many people take. Landing right on the tiles. Turtle Rock is dependent, but you're gonna need that hammer at some point. And obviously, I don't think that I don't know. I don't think these guys know that one bomb jump, so I think that they're stuck pretty hard on getting the fire. Ooh, Master Sword.
That's pretty good. Might be able to get tempered now as well. But there's a lot of isolated locations open now.
So yeah, this if you do know the right side GT bomb jump, this is a seed you could conceivably skip the fire rod entirely on. But you couldn't necessarily skip ice if cold stare or holds one of our keys. Oh yeah, we also know how to get to tempered sword now. That is a good point.
At this point, we're just looking for the Mario Big Key, aren't we?
Ganon's Tower Big Key is conceivably not required because we don't necessarily have to do Aghanim 2. Yeah, as far as go mode or no mode, we still need the Swamp Small Key.
Oh, right. And flippers.
Yeah, and flippers and the Mario Big Key. Looks like Waterleau took a fall. That always sucks. Moldorm is I waffle between Moldorm and Cold Stare as my least favorite bosses for this reason.
Yeah, low percent Cold Stare and Vidi are definitely my nemesis. I don't mind Moldorm that much. I guess he's a lot worse without boots.
Yeah, mostly for the falling. It's not the necessarily the hurting or the difficulty.
Yeah, it's just the potential time loss.
Alright, so Bob has checked a couple of the entrances with the boots so far. Didn't find a lot. He's got 2 more boots entrances that he could check. That hammer does a few things for him. Most notably that he can finish Pod up right now. He could also finish Ice off, but obviously that's not going to be the first thing we want to do. Oh, speaking of things we needed to find, here's the hammer is on right side GT behind the fire rod, which is in Ice Palace, behind the bomb jump that Waterleau did not pull off. So yeah. Also, the boots are right next to the hammer, and also the silvers are right next to the hammer because right side GT just decided to show up to.
Because why not?
Alright, so Dam gets us an item. Moldorm got us a crystal and also an item, but it was not a great.
And Moldorm gave us a full heart.
Yeah, I don't know. Based on what I've seen, I think Waterleau does not really know that bomb jump. It's a difficult one to pull off. Also, as has been pointed out, without the boots, it's a pretty sucky one to pull.
Yeah, need some heavy pumping there.
Gonna check that shovel. Don't think he got anything really out of this. Bombo's tablet check for these 10 arrows that we already saw previewed. I kind of expect at some point Bob's gonna grab that tempered sword. Just because why not? I mean, he's probably going to see if he can't just run into it somewhere else instead first, but you know, if he's starting to run low on checks and he's like semi in the area, like maybe when he goes back to get Hera, he would be able to just grab that sword relatively quickly.
Now, at this point, I kind of would expect him to just rattle off Heat Sun and Pod, just because you need to do them anyway, and they're kind of close together.
Yeah, those are his densest and most attractive possibilities right now for sure. It's gonna get some of these mirror checks out of the way that we saw on Waterleau's side already, though. Meanwhile, Waterleau is gonna do... I don't know what he's gonna do right now. Fake flipper, looks like.
Yep.
He is kind of running low on options that are both in logic and attractive.
Yeah, Ice Palace certainly isn't one of them. And there's still a couple of like locations or like groups of locations that we haven't been able to get to yet, like Darkworld Shopping Mall and the Mire area.
Yeah, waiting on some flippers to get over there. We haven't found the back of Skull Woods. That's on our list of things we need. So we do have access to a lot of places so far. Oh, big key to GT. I didn't even see that pickup. Did Bob not fake flipper to Hobo?
I don't think he did, no.
I thought he had, but no, it doesn't appear that he did. That's out of logic, though, so no reason to go crazy on the GT climb right now, unless, I guess, you don't really want to go back into Ice Palace, but... Yeah, I don't know, I'd be, like, this late in the game, no hammer, I would be... and no boots, like, no flippers... I would definitely be like spending some time eyeing the options that are still in logic versus doing a lot of sequence breaking, because late game sequence breaking is something that can really sink you if you know you're just avoiding the one thing you need to do to get the big items.
Yeah, for sure. Especially once the number dwindles, you should be more incentivized to actually go to those locations because you know the chance is so big that you get something you need. I mean, if you expect that your next check or next item is going to be flippers, then sure, you can maybe do the fake flipper spots, just in the off chance that you get something that, like the hammer, to make the Ice Palace clear more efficient. But in this case, it just seems kind of rough.
Yeah, it looks like we did a hard reset to save our rupees as well. Oh, no, never mind, he just... No, he's still... Okay, I thought he... I guess it just twitched on my side and I didn't see it. Zoro was technically not a sequence break in this case, but everything else was. He's got glows, so Zoro's always in logic with glows, which is one of those things that can be hard to keep in mind in randomizer, since we can do that rock that nobody ever actually walks to. Although I did see two runners independently walk to that rock yesterday in the same race.
It's the new meta.
Alright, so what is Waterleau going for now? They really are running low on options that don't suck. They've already done this mirror stuff, so I'm not sure what he's into right now. Oh, was this bumper ledge maybe? Or this was the connector maybe?
This was hammer bike suit, yeah.
Oh, I could have sworn he already checked this.
I mean, if you have two bombs, you might as well pick them up.
Alright, Bob going through Thieves Town, I can talk. Got the Tower of Hera big key, so after he does pod, well, I would expect he does pod next, he will go clear Hera. At that point, he will not have found anything else. We don't know what's on Helmasaur, though. But at that point, if he hasn't found too much else, he may go ahead and dip Mire while he's up there.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay, so Waterleau is... Oh, he's gonna climb GT. This could be interesting. This is not gonna... this is not the way he's supposed to be going. He could find a required item up here, but the more he avoids that hammer, the less likely it is that even going up here early will save him.
At this point, there's very little that could actually be up here, because we know it's locked by the flippers. So the only thing that could really be in here is the Mario Big Key.
Swamp Small as well, but
I mean, I keep forgetting we need that.
Yeah, like it could be a necessary climb, but at this particular stage, it's not necessarily a climb you should be doing. Because you're like off logic and you really need to get like back on track to find some of these major items that you're missing.
And this climb is a pain with his current equipment. Let's not forget.
Yeah, no boots, no master sword, no fire rod. Like, he's got bow, but he doesn't have silvers because all that stuff's sitting at the bottom of the tower. Alright, Bob doing what we expected and hitting up Pod for the last few items. He's got 3 left in here. I forget which door he hasn't opened yet. Actually, he can access a 5th key by going over here, which he's about to do. This is key for key in this case.
Yeah, this is key for key, then he'll be able to open Harmless Hallway as well, and then finish off with Helma. So he'll be able to full clear it. Like, luckily because of this key.
I wouldn't say it's 100% that we know this won't work, but based on many things that I have seen, I would not expect it to really pay out in the best way possible. Like, it might have something required up here, but he's getting further and further off track from the hammer. So even if it's something required up here, I don't expect this to really like pull him out of the fire automatically. Especially not if he dies on the way up.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous climb. He's going to need some magic as well. He's going to have to powder this, which makes the upcoming fight more hassle-some as well.
Yeah, he can waste a little magic on these guys with the fire or ice rod since he does have a magic refill, but he's also, got to save a little for the upcoming. Alright, Bob didn't find anything good in the Harmless Hellway, so we're going to go straight through to Helmasaur and see what we can find over there. Meanwhile, a couple more rooms, and then Waterleau will be giving us some new information on his end for this sequence-broken Ganon's Tower climb.
Yeah, 5 checks at the end of this. Some pretty rough rooms here without boots.
Yeah.
Let's play this slowly.
And then I expect Bob after Helmasaur is going to go... Ooh, missed all of the wizards right. I expect Bob will go to Hera fairly soon after this. The hammer opens up Spike Cave, and I think we saw Mimic Cave somewhere. We know Hammer Pegs is some crap, I think, from a hint. I don't really... I can't... he could finish Ice Palace, not that you'd want to, but I mean, he could. So those are some other options available to him as well.
Yeah, we know that Spike Cave is at Akka Tower, and that Mimic Cave is on the desert left side. So we can access like Mario left side via the back of Old Man.
Yeah, speaking of Mario, I don't think we've had access to that yet, so we could still... The flute could still come into play here, depending on where Skullwoods is.
Yeah, for sure.
Or even depending on where some keys are, because it could just be some item caves in that area as well. Hey! Well... So the flute actually gets Waterleau into the mire area, so he can do some things over there. It's not what he needs right now, but it does give him some things to do. Could unfortunately just be a distraction that he doesn't need. We'll have to find out. Palace of Darkness key as well, yes. Which means basically that the flippers could not be anywhere in pod, I think is really what that...
Yep.
Speaking of Palace of Darkness, I don't think we got anything from Helmosaur.
Nah, it basically means that Skull Woods also can't have the flippers, I guess. Because all the Skull Woods keys were on the pod left side.
Yes. Well, this is all behind the flippers anyway, so if Skull Woods is in mire area, then it was definitely not going to have the flippers either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Waterleau did get the Tower of Hierarchy up here, by the way. Speaking of things you really didn't want to see that you could accomplish right now.
Yeah, it's a rough time he's having here.
He's really got to get back to Ice Palace, and I really don't think he has anything in logic left besides going back to Ice Palace. So he's really just kind of digging himself a deep rabbit hole to drop in.
Oh man, it was almost a really good Aga too. I've been pretty impressed with how he's handled the rest of GT here. Because with that equipment, it's definitely not easy, but he stayed calm.
Yeah, he had a pretty decent climb. Bob, meanwhile, definitely doing Hera, then probably picking up a Tempered Sword, and then I would assume Mire after that, since we know that there's not really anything of note in here. Get to see if the Magic Bat has any kind of payoff for us as well. There's really only a couple things we're looking for. So the flute could in fact be required. We'll find out once he turns this in, and I assume chases it, even though he probably shouldn't.
Okay.
Well, we found our 4 swords, so assuming you don't even need to do the GT climb, the Ether Tablet seems to be the best route to get us. Alright, he's going through the back of Old Man Cave, which puts him up on the mountain and gets him...
This puts him in the desert, doesn't it?
I thought this went up to the West Dark Death.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Wait, where?
I don't know exactly what he's... I don't know exactly what he's pursuing up here, but...
I guess his Tempered Sword.
Oh yeah, I guess that is pretty much the one thing he could do.
Okay, now I forgot what connector led to the back of the desert. Oh, it was the front exit. Never mind, it was just the front exit of Old Man.
The tunic being red is because he's got red mail. The heart color is a modification made for colorblind people. And as far as the sprites go, they're actually different sprites. They're well over 100 sprites at this point to choose from, so you can play as any kind of character you're in. You feel like Dr. Bob is actually a Hyrule Castle Knight. Don't 100% recognize Waterleau's sprite.
Waterloo is just... Yeah, it's one of the Infinite Link sprites.
Yeah, there's so many sprites that it's hard to recognize them on sight.
Parallel Worlds Link, I see.
Alright, so Bob doing what we expected and checking out Misery Mire, probably checking out the ether tablet for that sword after that, and then we'll have to see where he goes. He's got a few options open by hammer. They're not super attractive, but really running out of things to check on his end as well.
We have seen waterleau as a bunny, but that was a long time ago. A couple of hours by now. It was just regular bunny? Okay.
I don't recall. Yeah, I really don't recall there being anything super exciting in here. I know we found ether, but ether might not actually be useful for anything.
Yeah, because we know that desert is the Turok.
Yeah, and Waterleau, unfortunately, pursuing this flute right now, which is really what he should not do. But he will give us information about whether the flute is required, and I kind of expect it to be, based on the fact that we haven't found Skullwood. Looks like Bombos to get in here, so didn't need ether for sure. And he's only got a couple more entrances to even check over here before the flute immediately stops paying out.
Okay, he knows all the pendants now.
Oh, there's Skullwood, so the flute is probably required. So, based on what Bob does, he could conceivably end up in like flute go mode, which would be depends on where some of these keys are that we're still missing.
I guess there could conceivably still be a connector that leads here, but I think we've seen most of them by now.
This also means the flippers are not anywhere over here. So the flippers are somewhere that we have access to that we haven't seen yet.
Maybe some of the hammerlock stuff. Could even be in ice.
That is a possibility. That would make a triple dip required for Ice Palace in Waterlow's case.
Oh no.
Pedestal is some junk of some kind. Oh, well, here's a connector that I don't think we've seen. But I think this might go to Laser Bridge at this point. So, yeah. I don't think it's actual access to Mire. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, the flute appears to be required in this seed, so that does require a climb. If Bob does things in the right order, he might be able to not actually go past the flute. But it's going to be like one of those hard calls. We'll see what's in here, though. If this is a key that we need, he might have to finish the climb regardless, just because he won't.
Yeah.
So it appears the only thing the flute got us was access to Skull Woods. Well, actually, we don't know what's on Mothula yet because he doesn't have the fire rod, and maybe he doesn't know the bomb jump he can do to get to there, which is the lamp, which is actually easier than some of the other ones he was trying to.
Yeah, sometimes just knowing the setup.
Also possible that he's trying to get back. No, he's not going the right direction to get back on track, so I don't really know what he's doing. Yeah, I am kind of surprised he didn't just go for Mothula, considering he's like completely down the rabbit hole anyway. So like, oh, I think he's yeah, he doesn't have the hammer, so this is the fastest way to get to Ice Palace. I think he's finally done.
Yeah. Looks like it.
Unfortunately, like, sorry, go ahead.
I would say that's pretty good for him. I don't know if it's in time by now. It might be that DoctorBobtastic just has done so much and.
Yeah, it's good for him, but I think it's definitely late to be doing this to save him. Dr. Bob is really going to run out of things to do besides the climb before too long. Although I think he's going to end up finding flippers or something, you know, maybe before he does the climb. Which could actually just be in here. And it appears that... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I guess he's finishing up Desert now. He does know it's a pendant, but I guess it's just an item that he wants to get.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the area, and he doesn't really know where things are, so there's no reason. I mean, you can ignore pendants, and pendants could have what you need, and you can just last location it anyways. Pedestal is just bombs. I could, I mean, I definitely see, since we know that the flute literally doesn't do anything but get us Skullwoods, it seems conceivable that Bob gets the flute last out of everything.
Yep.
Waterlow's going to get his fire rod, and presumably he'll continue. Oh wait, actually he can't continue. Just kidding. He doesn't have the hammer, so he's going to be going to GT pretty fast after this, I would expect. But it is unfortunate. He's quite likely going to have to do a triple dip of this because it seems like this is one of the better options left for finding one of the things.
And if all the things that are left open, I think it's just the 2 hammer-locked spots.
Big chest, and there's 4 things in here that we haven't seen. Waterloo is going to be able to pick one of them up since he's got the big key at least, but we won't be able to see the right side or cold stare.
Yeah. Yeah, Bob, that's just has a couple of spots left, I guess.
Yeah, he's got Mimic, Spike Cave, and I think really going back to Ice Palace.
And the Turtle Rock chests.
Oh, is he not done? What has he not done in Turtle Rock?
The Firelocked side, right?
Oh, right.
And I guess he can do Trinex too.
Yeah, I think he probably saw the hint that that it's junk, but he may still want the actual item on Trinex. I mean, the green pendant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, he's doing his clean up over here with these chests as well, remembering that he's right. Looks like the big chest was nothing, so if there's anything in here that we still need, it is Hammerlock. Bob taking the slow route in this room for some reason. He's got the hook. The flipper.
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say that the flippers are not on Sahasrahla, though we got a hint that it's not anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be on Trinex, I suppose.
I'm thinking where Waterleau found a Turtle Rock small key.
Bob just found something interesting on his side, and the Firelock Turtle Rock side. Meyer Big Key, so that is a dungeon we can put down.
That's pretty good.
Bob's got 3 of the keys, and we know that the other one is in the... Oh wait, no, did he get the one from the Thiefstown Big Chest? I don't really know.
I don't think he did. I think he skipped the small key like right before blind and just used the small key that he found to speed up Thiefstown. So it might be that Bobtastic found the 4th key. Oh right, because that was Red's GT. Yeah.
Right, so I think that Turtle Rock could have the flippers, yeah. Or Trinex could. Where was Laserbridge at again?
Good question. I forgot to mark it.
Yeah, it looks like I also forgot to mark it. So, but an interesting thing that you can do if you want to check everything left in Turtle Rock, and you just have Trinex in the front. The front is kill Trinex and transport yourself to the front. So, I mean, I guess it's interesting he didn't do it that way. I mean, he was kind of close anyway to those chests, but that is like a way that you could check everything in Turtle Rock and sort of like bundle it together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was in the back of desert, which he doesn't have really a good way to get to. So yeah, that makes more. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get the Mothula kill on Waterleau's side, since it's quick to get to. At least it's not what he needs, but he does need to do it eventually. Not getting anything from it, so our Swamp Small Key is at large somewhere in the remaining checks that we have, either in Ice Palace or maybe on Vitreous.
Yep.
Or possibly one of these random hammer locations we still have.
Now we're behind the flipper spots, I guess.
And
it's behind the flippers.
Yeah, and also, well, we checked all this. Well, no, we haven't checked the Dark Ice Rider cave yet, area yet.
We haven't seen Ice Palace either, have we?
We have items left in Ice Palace. Oh, you mean like the actual entrance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen that, and I don't know that we've seen a hint for it yet. I don't remember. Waterleau is going to get his Meyerbeer key, though, right away. Not going to get his hammer, though, that he definitely needs at some point. This is something required, though, and it is going to lead him to something required, so it's not all...
At this point, he has to hope that Bobtastic just finds leads that lead nowhere.
Yeah, although he doesn't really have a lot that can really pull him off track right now. He's just really, like, whittling his list of checks down pretty efficiently still.
And he definitely really stepped up after the Moonpool debacle.
Yeah, of the two debacles, I think the Fire Rod is hurting a little bit more over the... it is not a super friendly seed for sure. It's oh, there's the flippers. So that is 3 more entrances that we haven't seen. One chest in Swamp Palace, I guess, if you really feel like doing that without the key, but that's one of the very few things that Bob is still looking for, so that seems unlikely to be on his agenda.
Yeah, that's definitely a last location thing.
So Swamp Small puts us in no mode. Won't put Bob in go mode. He will probably, unfortunately, check all of Swamp Palace for, say, the flute or whatever he thinks he needs to get to Skull. The flute is in upstairs Ganon's tower, which is actually locked behind those flippers that Bob just... Gonna get a Spike Cave check. This is one of our few, like, hammerlock things that we didn't see. Oh, I was about to say, what is it?
I was really afraid he was gonna save and quit there.
Alright, Waterleau is going to go ahead and defeat Meyer with that big key. The dungeon he's got to do. Still looking for a hammer. That's one of the few things that he has in logic that he knows about. He's got to get to right side GT. I mean, there's a lot of items over there. He's probably not really, like... He's probably just trying to prioritize dungeons that he can do over, like, GT, which could be irrelevant. He doesn't know for sure where the hammer is.
Yeah, the problem is that the flippers, of course, will again lead him away from GT.
Yeah, the flippers are on Vitreous. It would be a neat trick for them to be on Argus, since Argus is behind the flippers, but maybe in Overworld, or No Logic, I mean. Alright, Bob's gonna show off these last few caves. He's still looking for Skull Woods and the Swamp Small Key. So 3 entrances over here. I don't really know what item caves we have left that we haven't seen. It's hard to keep track of them. There's like 30 of them.
Yeah.
Got a hint, but he's gonna skip it at this point, it looks like, because he's pretty late game and not looking.
That's the most important cave.
And 2 hints, but he's not gonna skip this one for some reason.
Alright, well...
Oh, never mind, he's going back. And nothing, no new information out of these hints. So we've got Mimic Cave, the rest of Ice Palace. That's kind of it. Right?
Yeah, I feel, I guess.
Oh, Trinex, yeah. Although at this point, for Trinex, Bob would have to take the long way, since he doesn't have the flute. Oh yeah, and the Ice Palace connector, which he's checking right now. Or Ice Palace entrance. Just junk, though.
Alright, 50 on Waterleau's side. Pull out the cape, so he should be safe enough. Oh, needs to be careful though.
Yeah, those NMG strats can go a little wrong on you if you don't get them quite in.
Yeah, that's really tight. It's like the faster you go, the safer it is.
Yeah, we saw Bob hasn't gone to Hobo yet, but I don't imagine that he'll put that off forever. He's got Mimic Cave and Ice Palace that he could still do. And then... I don't know. I really can't think of too much more. Trinex, but he's got to go the long. Also, Waterleau getting those flippers, hopefully that does not put him off of doing GT even longer, because he's really, really got to go there.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid of it. Well, I guess we haven't seen Skullwood just yet either.
Skullwood's, well, I don't... Does he have the big key? Okay, he got the big key at some point. Also, he could check... No, we already came out of the fire rod exit, so no, never mind, he doesn't need...
And it was Harrow Castle left side.
Nicely done on the bomb jump. Gets a 20 rupee for his trouble. Oh, we're good. We're doing GT. Waterleau is doing the thing that he needs.
Alright, well...
He's gonna be one unhappy camper.
On the other hand, this puts both of them on just needing the Swamp Smoky, doesn't it?
Yeah, it puts them on equal item footing, not necessarily equal checks. Though.
Oh, for sure. That's very true. I mean,
another thing that
Tastic doesn't know yet.
Yeah, another thing that could come into play is the bomb. Or did we get a pyramid item? Pyramid hint.
I don't think we have yet. No. But again, I'm really not sure what item locations there still are.
Bob just got a small from something, I think.
Spiral Cave? Where was Spiral Cave?
Oh, Spiral Cave? Really? We hadn't seen Spiral Cave yet? I thought we... Where was Spiral Cave? Oh, Hammer Hut! Oh, that was an entrance we forgot all about!
Oh, wow.
Well, that, Well, that's gonna lead Bob on a merry chase to full clear swamp when he doesn't need to, but it's a totally reasonable play. He doesn't have any reason to not know, or that he needs to. That could actually put Waterloo in the interesting position of go-moding swamp, though. I don't think that's really going to necessarily save him enough time, but I mean, this did just get a little more interesting.
I mean, he'll definitely...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I mean, he'll definitely full clear this, and then he'll probably full clear, like, a finish off pod. But after that, he only has some overworld left to do. And I think when it comes to that, he about did the same as Bob. So I think he's not that far behind.
Yeah, that flute could be a thing that makes this a little more interesting. But Bob really doesn't have a lot left, though. Hopefully he doesn't do Ice Palace before Hobo, but he could.
I really hope that he doesn't think he already did it during his original fake flipper checks when he was looking for the pearl.
There are no connectors to the Mire area, no. Coldster has a pendant, but not Vitreous. But Bob knows that it's a pendant, though, yes. Oh, we got a mirror shield, everybody's favorite shield. Bob gonna go... Well, maybe he's not gonna go left side. Skipping left side would be a good choice in this case, because it's not gonna get him anything, but he may or may not choose to do that. He should know that he just needs flute now, because I think he's checked basically every entrance. He could, in fact, be banking on Big Bomb, though, if we didn't get a hint for that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, never mind. He can't be banking. Yeah. He can't. Yeah, Skullwoods is a 5/6 crystal, so totally ignore what I just said. So he should, at this point, know that he needs the flute, because he has checked every entrance.
Yeah, so when it comes to that, I don't think there's a world in which he doesn't do left side swamp at this point. Like, he just has to be as efficient as possible.
Well, we'll see how brave he's feeling once we get done with Argus here. Getting all the Ice Palace keys, though, that's... or another Ice Palace key, though. Hopefully that doesn't put Ice Palace in his mind, because that's not going to get him what he needs.
Okay, Waterloo, not forgetting about the big chests. And then it really depends on what he's going to do now.
Yeah, if he doesn't think of Hammer House anytime soon, we'll see. He's still got to defeat Palace of Darkness, and he's still got to go to potentially do what the heck oh, he could potentially still do Ice Palace as well. Although having already been forced to double dip it, he may be less inclined to do that before.
Yeah, I really don't hope he goes and does that. And Waterloo not going for the 20 heart challenge.
He is trying to clean up the stuff that he just got the access to, though. Doing flipper stuff right now, hammer stuff probably behind it. I really expect him to do pod, though, really soon, because that's the last dungeon he can really complete that he needs to.
Yeah.
Bob is... Don't know what Bob's doing. If he's going to Hobo, he's taking the long way.
does look like he is then.
Could have sworn Bob already did the waterfall. Has he not done Zora area at all? I could have sworn.
I know he's done Zora itself, so maybe he hasn't checked this location yet. This is a hint, though.
Waterloo, meanwhile, is going... Oh, he hasn't checked any of the boot stuff yet either, so that's another thing. It's another 4 entrances he's got to check.
Oh, this save quit is bad. Unless...
Alright, so... Bob is... not going towards Hobo, we know. But I'm not sure what he's going.
The problem is, it's so hard to tell because there's so many connectors that he can possibly take.
Yeah, has he checked Mimic Cave? I think that's the thing that he still has on the...
Yeah, but that's a pyramid, though.
He's also not going to Ice Palace, it looks like, so I'm not really sure what he's doing. Hammer Pegs, because he forgot the hint that it's junk, maybe?
Maybe.
Meanwhile, Waterloo is going to Dark Ice Rod area, maybe? I don't think he's actually done that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it seems like it. I was almost afraid he was going to go back into ice.
Bob is going back into Spiral Cave for some reason.
He hasn't checked the other exit.
Oh, he didn't check the exit? He just got the key and left?
Yeah. I think he was too excited.
Well, that's an interesting way to go, I guess.
I mean, this might lead to Pyramid Ferry, I guess.
Maybe... Oh, Floating Island, right. That is a thing we also know. Also a thing that doesn't help him. And Bob is trying to figure out where to go, and I'm not sure where he's going to choose. Not the right way, though, because he needs to go to Hobo. Don't really know where he's going still, though. Waterloo, meanwhile, taking his flute, putting his flute to good use to go to Ice Palace? So maybe not putting his flute to good use, but he's just putting it to use.
Uh-oh. It would make sense to just finish off dungeons that you know you have to do, but...
He still hasn't done pod yet, that's a good point, yeah. Oh, he's got these boots entrances too.
Oh yeah, okay. Fine, that makes some amount of sense. It just scares me.
Oh, he needed this too, yeah, this was kind of important. Forgotten that pesky dam. Bob is going into an entrance that I don't remember what it is. Turtle Rock. Oh, he's going for Trinex, which is not great because he doesn't need it, but doesn't know it.
Yeah. He also hasn't seen the back entrance, I think, so he'll be able to do Mimic Cave.
Meanwhile, Waterloo is going... Well, he was checking that item, and now he's going to... somewhere. Dashing to pod, maybe? Nope, he's going into... Swamp, but he doesn't have the small key, so this is like a... I don't know, Hail Mary play?
I guess just checking the first chest is fine.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long. I mean, could save an awful lot of time if the key was just hidden.
Alright, this looks like pod.
Alright, finally gonna clean up the dungeon at large. Bob, meanwhile, I think was actually doing Mimic Cave. I think he had come out here already. He was gonna do Mimic Cave and then Trinex.
Was it Waterloo who hasn't checked? I think one of them died before being able to check the back entrance.
Alright, so we know this isn't going to be anything we need. Bob's got to go to Hobo. Waterloo's got to go to the Hammer House in Village of Outcast. Well, Bob's got to go to Hobo and then upstairs GT. Waterloo's only got the one thing. They're both starting to run pretty low on options, though.
Yeah. I assume that Waterloo will finish off Skull Woods first as well.
He already did.
Oh, he already did? Oh dang, I must have missed that. I haven't been paying attention, guys.
Well, it was one of those blink and you miss it kind of fights. I think he picked up Tempered on the way.
Yeah, it becomes a lot easier once you have Tempered.
Alright, so Bob gonna get us a green pendant. Also not gonna give us what we need. Hopefully he remembers the hint that Sahasrarla does not have anything. I assume that he knows that once he finds the flute, he's good, so I don't think he would finish off the GT climb once he gets up.
Yeah, I would hope so, unless he really thinks he needs Cold Sword.
I think he's really just looking for the flute and just not having that GT big key is just picking off his single options as fast as he can.
Yeah. Oh, hey look, another ball. Is that one easier to get in Logic than the 6 Botkeys one?
Sorry, say that again?
Is that bottle easier to get into Logic than the 6 Botkeys one?
Maybe? They had all the Turtle Rock keys in fairly accessible locations, I think.
Oh hey, okay, I didn't realize that. Helma also dropped a bottle.
Hey, the 2 bottles locked behind 6 pod keys, actually. So, the hookshot cave was really the only one that was, like, super accessible. Let's see here. Bob is going in the right direction.
Yeah, looks like it.
And then he'll be able to pop right back over here and do the GT climb. I think that Waterleau's doing Mimic and Shrinex. So
yeah.
one of them's heading in the right direction and the other one not quite. The Swamp Small is in the Hammer House of Thievestown, or Village of Outcasts, which is the Spiral Cave. I don't see a scenario in which Bob doesn't climb GT right now. He's shaking his head in total disappointment at that key, or consternation, perhaps. Goes to the house, so I think he's going to GT, yeah. Oh, don't do Ice Palace, Bob. I think he's doing Ice Palace.
He's doing Swamp left side. Oh no, that's even worse!
Oh, Bob, no. I think he was actually shaking his head at that key as in screw you GT. Which is unfortunate, because he needs to go.
It's like they're both picking the options that really won't work out.
Well, they're both, I mean, really running low on options, so I don't know. I mean, at this point, it almost feels like they're both going to go back to Ice Palace before they go to the places they need to do.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking as well.
Like, although for Bob's case, there's more items. Wait, no, Bob's got 5 items left in GT still, or Ice Palace still, I think. Wait, let's see, 1, 2, 3. No, he's only got 4. So
Right,
there's one more item in GT for him. 2 more, really, if he wants to do the big chest. But, so maybe he'll be pushed by the numbers.
I don't think Waterleau got the hint for Sahasrara.
He may have just forgotten it at this point because he did check it a large number of minutes ago.
I thought it was the one at the Agate Tower.
Oh, yeah, you're right, actually. So, nope, he doesn't know that. That was like the one worthy thing Bob got out of Agate Tower. Yeah, 5 for GT for because of the bat. And only 4 left in Ice Palace. Alright, where is Waterleau going? I don't know.
Needs to flute to 4, or 3, rather. Okay, well that's the first step. Oh, never mind. It looks like ice now.
Alright, so, sorry, I had to step away for a second. Looks like we're getting the Ice Palace play, which is kind of what I expected at this point.
Apparently, Bob found the mushroom. So we're going to go all the way back to the mountain after this.
Left side into the mushroom seems about right. He does have a fairly quick way to get there by the back of the old man at least.
Yeah. Man, if only had the flute to just flute to 1.
Well, if he had the flute, he wouldn't need 2, so...
I know! So, do you think Bob will go to ice before committing to GT?
Yeah, Bob doesn't have a lot left outside of GT and Ice Palace, and hopefully he doesn't just, like, stubbornly refuse to accept the GT big key as the... He did shake his head very angrily at it when he saw it.
Yeah!
It looked like he was thinking about Sahasrara for half a second there, and then I probably remember.
Doesn't want to spawn on Pyramid.
Alright, he's going to Ice Palace.
Oh no! What a slugfest this is.
Well, he's gonna get half magic. I think going to Ice Palace makes this much more Waterleau's race to lose, unless he just totally forgets the Hammer House is.
Yeah, it's hard to see his tracker.
Oh, he's gonna get half magic at least, so I mean that's a bonus of sorts.
Yeah, does make this Gold Star fight trivial.
Question is, what does Waterleau do after this? He's got Spike Cave still on the agenda. Could pull the pedestal, but I don't know if he actually checked the pedestal. Bob did. Then we'll see if he remembers Hammer House, because I think that's really about all he's...
Yeah, that sounds like 3 things he hasn't done yet.
Bob is at least only double dipping this instead of triple dipping it, so yay.
Yay, indeed.
Alright, really nice cold stare fight with that gold sword we picked up in our travels. Getting our blue pendant. Don't know what we're doing after.
Yeah! Oh no. Oh no, he did check the big chest already. Where is he going? Oh, he might be doing big bomb down.
Oh yeah. I feel like we got a hint for that of some kind, but I really don't remember what it was.
It's been a long seed.
Bob won't have to do this, at least, at any point. So... Just really don't know where Waterleau is going to go after this, because he does have limited options, but he does seem to be fairly intent on doing all of those options before he gets to the one he needs. Yeah. Yeah, they are both on a quest to avoid the thing that they need to do. Bob doing a little spin, fancy spin there for us.
You're nice.
Waterloo's gonna check Spike Cave, I think.
Oh, that's pretty good routing, to be honest. Nice sequence.
Yeah, he's still comboing things nicely enough.
Yeah, no way he's dying in here. Bobtastic is never gonna get his gold sword.
I probably won't be too sad about that. Alright, where is Waterloo going? Not to the right. Nope, he's gonna flute, so maybe he'll go to the right.
The 1 in 8 chance.
That is not the correct number, so I don't know where he's going.
What? What could be here?
I really don't know. I have no idea what he has left outside of Hammer House. I just can't think of anything. Turtle Rock main entrance, if he forgot whatever hint he got for it, or... No, he knows what's in there, he came out of it. So, just kidding.
Hera? Smoky?
Oh yeah, that's what he's doing. That's 100% what he's doing.
Oh no!
Bob, meanwhile, should be down to GT. He's dashing in the right direction if he mirrors.
He's going for it. Is he going for the basement first?
God, I hope not. 5 items versus 1. Gotta go upstairs first. So we are... This is still fairly close, I think. Bob doesn't have to do the entire gauntlet, or doesn't have to do the entire upstairs. Once he gets the flute, he can dip out of here. And then he's just got to find Skull Woods and kill Mothula.
Yeah!
And then meanwhile, Waterloo's got to go to Hammer House and then Go Mode Swamp. And at this point, I don't really know who's got the better situation. They're doing their best to keep this fairly.
I think even if Waterloo goes to the Hammer House, like right after this, it's going to be really close.
Hey, 300 rupees that you just don't really need right now. Where's he gonna? Oh, I think, yep, he's got the right number.
Yeah, but he could also be going to pet now. Oh,
He's got the right world. This puts it a little more in Waterloo's court, I think, but he's gotten the right tool.
he's got the right entrance. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, I think this puts it a little more in Waterloo's court because he just has to Go Mode Swamp. Bob's got to activate the flute, go to Skull Woods. That's a shorter dungeon to clear, but
He still has to find it as well. There's 5 entrances, and he has to pick the right one. And it's, of course, the one locked behind the medallion. Yeah, I think you're right.
Bob's only a couple rooms away from his Go Mode, but Waterloo has got his now.
Imagine how terrible both of them are feeling right now.
Yeah, I imagine they've been thinking, why is there no dot done for like at least 30 minutes? Yeah, I think barring anything crazy happening, that this is definitely swung back to Water.
Yeah. What a race, though. Such back and forths.
Yeah, they have definitely been keeping us on the edge of our seats. Alright, Bob's got to get through a couple of torch puzzles. Then he will be on the way to his flute for Go Mode, which he should 100% know that he won't have to go further after that.
Yep, just one more room.
Alright, yep, he recognizes his Go Mode. He's got to activate the flute and take a quick minute to figure out where Skull Woods is, and then he will be on his way to the end. He unfortunately has to still dash all the way to the village from over here. It's not too long, but that's a little extra.
Yeah, it definitely adds up. And by that time, Waterloo should already have started Argus. Almost.
Okay, no need to defeat Aghanim 2. No, this is Crystal's goal, which means just get the 7 crystals and go to Ganon. You only have to defeat Aghanim 2 if he blocks progression, which in this case he didn't.
Just a big old shiny sword.
Yep, which will make the Ganon fight a little bit smoother, but is not strictly necessary. Alright, is Bob going to choose the right entrance the first time? Is
Would you go into the Vanilla Mire entrance as first pick? Well, I guess he is!
Well, I wouldn't necessarily, but I am not Bob, but he is in fact
What?
just playing with us at this point.
I feel so baited.
And, well, he's going to do it second at least. Meanwhile, Waterleau's got his last crystal and is heading to Ganon. I think Bob will be getting his last crystal somewhere near the end of Waterleau's fight.
Yeah, sounds about right, yeah.
Interesting, Bob is kind of taking some slow strats in here, which I wouldn't necessarily expect with Tempered Sword.
Yeah, especially rooms like these, it's worth it to practice the strats that people use in MG. There are some very safe strats that are really fast. I might get the bunny drop down here.
Looks like Waterleau's already in phase 3. Bob, meanwhile, getting a dash off on Mothula, so he should only need a couple more hits here.
Yeah, there we go.
The game will let you fight Ganon without all 7 crystals, but Ganon will yell at you and tell you that you're dumb and that you should go finish your...
Alright, and that'll do it.
Alright, GG to Waterleau. We should see his official time come through here any second. 3:15:31. Meanwhile, Bob is just on his way to Ganon. So, close race. Unfortunately, this means Dr. Bob is eliminated from the tournament. Waterleau will go on to another round of the losers brackets. I don't have any idea who his opponent might be, though.
Okay, quickly check. Looks like 1UP will be his opponent. Wait, no, I'm looking at my predictions.
So I guess that means 1UP or me.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, loser of race 45, which is you against 1UP. I'm sorry.
Well, we'll see in a couple of days which one that's.
No, it means that I have a lot of faith in my co-cast.
Hi.
Yo, GG's.
Only one word. Why? Why
yeah,
that seed?
that was an interesting seed. It led you on a few chases, and unfortunately, not having the hook shot when you went into Ice Palace kind of hurt. Kind of demonstrates a case of sequence breaking possibly hurting you instead of helping you. Because at that point you only had a couple options left to get progression. So, so you were kind of sequence breaking into Ice Palace at that point and didn't have what you.
Yes, you're right. But when I sequence braked Cannon's Tower Big Key, I knew that my progression was in Ice Palace, but I wanted to find the hammer, and I didn't.
Yeah, that hammer was the real sticking point. And and unfortunately it was behind the fire rod, so it required a hammerless dip of Ice Palace, and so it was just kind of...
Yeah, logically, this seed was pretty gross. And we're joined by DoctorBobtastic. GG's. What a seed.
Yeah, that sure was a thing. So yeah, I given what happened in certain places, I'm surprised I was that close, to be honest. I felt like I was about 35 minutes behind.
I think Swamp Palace is the only thing I didn't full clear.
Yeah, well, to clarify how you ended up so close, on Dr. Bob's side, he found Turtle Rock without the cane, and then kind of forgot about it once he found the cane, and was kind of running around trying to figure out the sequence to get to his pearl.
I spent about 20 minutes, or maybe 15 minutes or so, trying to figure out, what do I have in logic, and where is Eastern Palace, for the love of all that is good and holy? And then I was like, I used the cane on Ganon's tower, because I'm like, well, yeah, that's the thing. And then I just sat there and was like, oh, right. I looked at my tracker, it said Turtle Rock, and I was like, oh, dadgummit.
Yeah, and on Waterleau's side, you both ended up sequence breaking into Ice Palace with Bombos before it was technically in logic, since your progression was either locked on Smith Chain or I think like one entrance on Dark Death Mountain, and didn't get the bomb jump to get the fire rod. And
I got the fire rod.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Waterleau. This is Waterleau. This is the Waterleau story on this side. So unfortunately missed the fire rod the first time into Ice Palace, and then proceeded to do many things before going back there. So left out of the hammer for a while,
including but not limited to fake flippering in order to get the GT big key. And
yeah, see, at the end when I got the Ganon's Tower big key on the hobo, I was like, okay, here's what I need to do. I need to go clear left side swamp, because if it's there, I have a shot at winning. Because otherwise, my opponent fake flippered there years ago and got the flute 18,000 days ago.
I didn't.
Yeah, ironically, ignoring that is probably what did it in the...
Yeah, I was sitting there on the flippers locations. I was like, well, I need to actually find the flippers, so I didn't really want to sequence break around them. Yeah, once I finally found that glove, I was considering going further into Turtle Rock, but I was like, nah. Because, for one thing, Eastern has to be around here somewhere, probably under a glove spot, so let's just go. And we did that. And then, of course, another thing that was blocking me was that same Turtle Rock entrance later on with the Misery Mire big key. Because I went and cleared all of Misery Mire and went in twice because I forgot a chest like a dumb.
Yeah, this is a seed that was definitely easy to set you up for a full clear if you just miss like one or two things. So you guys did a good job of like powering through the issues and finishing anyway, despite the craziness that you had to go through. You had to, I think you both last location the heck out of your go mode, but different go modes in this case at least.
Yeah,
I thought for that swamp small key, did I miss something? And when I saw the spiral key, I said, okay, it can be the Swamp Palace small key or the T-Stone small key, because I knew that the last TR small key was in the big chest in T-Stone. So, and I saw that one small key. Okay, I'm in go mode after 3 hours. I think it's my worst time for 6 months.
Yeah, the sea definitely made you go around the world quite a bit. Have either of you considered doing the the bomb jump in GT in order to skip to the fire route locked side. Because that
Not
would
without the
open up
boots.
seed. Oh yeah, I guess without the boots, it's very tight.
Yeah, that was my thing. I was like, I want to do that. I really do, but without the boots, I don't think I could pull it off.
I'm
And,
not sure it's a
And the
thing,
boots were back
without the
there,
boots.
so that doesn't help. Like, I can do it with the boots. I've tried it before. Oh, do you guys like my clear of Aga Tower? Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that was an interesting.
So let me tell you what my brain was thinking here. I didn't have the hammer, and I don't know how to do the kern jump. And so I was like, this is access to East Dark World. It sucks, but I'm already here.
Yeah, Waterleau actually did that jump twice.
But the second time I had the Aganim's Tower, the entrance, so it was in logic to go in this area.
Yeah, I figured it was going to take me about the same amount of time to learn the kern jump as it was to go up Aga Tower. So it's like, eh.
And you get a hint out of it too, so.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was useful at all.
I think it was the hospital hint.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I still got all the pendants.
At least you got to skip that one check, though.
Yeah, I skipped what, like Thieves Town, Big Chest. I skipped the Eastern Palace, Big Key. I thought about going in there and putting up a little thing on my screen saying #coward%, but I decided not to.
Because you knew it was the red now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he found that hint before finding Eastern, so. Well, GG to both of you. Waterlow's going to go on to face possibly 1UP or possibly me, depending on what happens.
Good luck
Dr.
with
Bob, Dr. Bob is fortunately eliminated at this point.
Unsurprisingly not moving on. But
I hope you had a fun few races then.
Yeah, we'll see Dr. Bob in the commentary booth, I would imagine. He's
probably way too many times. I can't get enough of this mode, and it's really sad that I'm not playing anymore because I really love this mode. I never said I was any good at it, but dang it all, if I
Yeah, as long as you're having fun, that's why we ultimately play this game. I hope so. I hope to see you around during some more pickup races during the weeks. I mean, there's so many races going on nowadays.
Yeah, well, GG to both of our runners, and thanks to my co-com Aaron, and to our trackers iBot, and I don't 100% know how you say that.
Wishmaster. Alright. My teas are killing me, so let's wrap this up. Yeah, GG to both runners, to the trackers, and to Resi and to Arior. I hope you all enjoyed this race. It was a long one, but a nice one. And if you want to see more of the Crossworld Keysanity tournament, we probably will have another race or two tonight at 9 PM Eastern or 9:30 PM Eastern, depending on the volunteer situation, which looks a little tight right now, so can't say for sure yet. If it will happen, you will see it on the schedule. And yeah, keep an eye on that. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching. GG to both runners, and I'm pretty sure this is not the last you've at least heard of DoctorBobtastic for this tournament, knowing him, so yeah, don't be sad. Thanks everyone for watching. Catch y'all later.